Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, January 5th. Welcome back to another day with Wall Street Bets. I'm your host, Opinion, and in just a few seconds, I'll be inviting everyone up from the audience to come say their piece on the Amazon layoffs and more. So, hang tight. Closer to the end, we'll also have journalist, favorite person in the world, so you can leave before then if you need to. Otherwise, welcome back, guys.
Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. I like to say it Option Thursday because one day before the final decay of options. Today, I'll start out off with some plays. I'll be going into some banking sectors because obviously the dollar is strong right now. And then also, I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Japan has the most cases in the world. That's correct. Japan is the next hotspot. Scald was mentioning in a previous talk, SI for CryptoBank. Looks like it's going down, so puts plays on that. And it's a lovely morning for everybody. So let's get started. Any good plays? And I'm excited. I missed journalists for a while, luckily. So, but I've been listening to the talks, thankfully, to YouTube for those streams. So thanks for that opinion. Quite interesting. The conversation's been going on, but I digress.
Yo, trust me, you won't miss journalist as soon as he comes back.
Well, the only way to keep him at bay is to level up the conversation, as he says, and keep it full of plays. Silvergate is an interesting trade that, I've kind of been watching along for a very long time. And everyone is withdrawing from that fund. What's the take, Ayat? Are they actually insolvent?
Somebody had mentioned, I think here on WallStreetBets, right before closing, that they were going to be buying some puts on Silvergate, and I jumped up on that ship.
And I believe the ticker for Silvergate is SI, right?
That's correct.
Just a quick overview.
I'm not sure if it has anything to do with it, but I think yesterday I read an article that the government has seized the Robinhood stake that FTX had. So I'm not sure how, if that was used as collateral for Silvergate, that might be one of the reasons why their stock is dropping. But don't. It's not a trust me thing. It's just a hypothesis. But the government now has the ownership of Robinhood that FTX used to have, and they're probably going to liquidate it at some point over the next year or two.
All right. Well, keep in mind that Alameda Capital, or FTX, they had a lot more creditors than just Silvergate. They owe money to everyone. So even if they seize, a couple $100 million there, a couple $100 million there, it's not all going to go to Silvergate and any one firm. Should we give I
would agree with you, Opinion.
Should we give a little bit of an overview of what Silvergate is? It's basically a Bitcoin ETF, if I'm correct.
Yeah, correct. I think Human Genome has done some research on it. If you want to go ahead, Human.
Yeah, I'm just going based on what Scald has mentioned. He said he might not be able to be on the call because he's out in the hinterlands. But Silvergate is basically the bank for crypto firms. So when crypto companies like Coinbase, FTX, and the other ones want to convert crypto to fiat currencies and back and forth, they use Silvergate to do that, because a lot of the traditional banks like Bank of America, Bank of America, Citigroup, and all the other ones didn't want to touch crypto in the early days. So Silvergate stepped in to be the bank for the crypto industry. So they're a legit bank, like they do, fractional reserves and all that kind of stuff. So they're a legitimate bank, but they accepted transactions for crypto firms like Coinbase and the other ones. So obviously, when you have something like FTX and Alameda go belly up, they're going to be hurt.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Silvergate. I've actually met with some of the Silvergate bankers and stuff like that. But part of the issue is that they sent the deposits that were going straight from the customers put into FTX, and they sent them straight to Alameda. So, but that's a regulatory issue that they never forced FTX to change. So they're going to have to deal with that too. So I think that's they still have regulatory issues to overcome, and I'm not really that bullish on them.
Heads up, SPY is gapping down.
There were some employment reports that came out starting at 8:15 this morning. So if anyone has eyes on those, please share.
So we were talking earlier about the housing market. Housing is quite interesting because they're still building left and right. Zillow is looking great on rentals. So I'm just curious what you guys' input on the rental market is, housing sector. I know Canada and the U.S. are quite different species when it comes to nationality, but they actually share a lot of commonalities when it comes to the housing sector.
Indeed. Good morning.
So correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe US, your mortgage rate is a fixed percentage over that whatever period you picked. The problem that Canada's having is that it's a variable percentage, and as their rates rise, that actually hits homeowners harder, right?
It's if people go on variable. So what the banks do is a trick. Sometimes is especially when the interest rates are low like this, they will go prime minus, right? So they give you a little thing to come to the institutions, to the 6 banks, right? Instead of going to a private mortgage, which is nice, right? And so it keeps them in this variable, which a lot of people are, and that's the only way that they're actually eligible to get a mortgage. I would lock in when it's low like this, right? But a lot of people have just carried it from when it was a lot higher, and they've carried it all the way down, and they forgot about locking in, or they didn't want to pay the penalty, because it's not like I believe yours in the States this is like a 30-year. You get it for 30 years, and it's like whatever the percentage that you locked it in at.
30 years.
I know, but that's beautiful. I don't know what the penalties are for paying that off. But I just know here we were able to before 2008 or around 2008.
Hey, Rockstar, I'm just going to throw a play down real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Going off of my therapeutics bio plays for the last few days, there's ORTX, Orchard Therapeutics. They just got a FDA clearance for a application for one of their therapies, and it's probably going to pump off of that. The volume is astronomical in pre-market. It's already at 4.5 million volume. Its average 3-month volume is only 360K, so it's already like 10x its average volume in pre-market. So it could see similar patterns to like Jasper and VVOS.
What was the symbol for that again? I think I was looking at that one last night. I think it was on.
Yeah, it's ORTX.
ORTX. Why does it sound so?
What price range do you see it going to, Notes?
Yeah, I was looking at this one yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it definitely could pump off this news fitting in the therapeutic industry with what these stocks have been doing over the last few days. So it's something to watch. I jumped in on that. Yeah.
What I do notice about them? A lot of these is that they got so beaten up that they weren't eligible to be on the list, like listed, right, on the NASDAQ. So they weren't in compliance. So they did a reverse split, and it brought the outstanding shares down to like quite minimal. So it's easy to pump these fuckers. That's one thing I do know.
Yeah,
Speaking
this
of-
one has 126 million outstanding shares.
That's
so
fuck
it's,
all. That's really in terms of the real market these days. It's kind of fuck all. But some of these guys got down to like, 6 million.
right. Yeah, that was another one. VYNT, that is something that fits a pattern like that. Yeah, it has 5.91 million outstanding shares. They one of their top management announced last night in after hours that they have some new therapeutic neuro therapy, and they're taking it to a expo to shop around basically, and they're not giving any more information until they have something reached. So
What was the ticker on
VYNT
that one?
pre-market volume is at 1.8 million already. Its average volume in 3 months is 52,000. So in pre-market, it's already done like 30 times its average volume.
See, what you maybe do is go back to look at like my last January, February, and all my screenshots and stuff, but I was doing like due diligence on stuff, and I found a lot of bio ones in there. They were
Yeah,
just
so
all
one more time, Lockstar, just to let everybody know before I'm done here, that ticker was VYNT. The prior ticker was ORTX. And if we can somebody else, can we get some current events, today, stock tickers? Can we talk about some stocks right now, Lockstar? Can we get another talker?
yeah,
so
absolutely.
I just want to let you guys know real quick. William Ruffus King in the comments said 204K jobless claims, down negative 19K from last week. Forecast was 223K. ADP reported 235K for unemployment report, significantly higher than 153K forecast. However, per CNBC, they have a new method of reporting. Thank you for that, William Ruffus King. But as mentioned by Notes, let's get some plays going. Let's get some calls talking soon. We're going to have the not really guest of honor per se, but the guy who likes to talk and say that we have no value in here. When we all day offer value to the room, journalists might be coming up here shortly. So let's get this ball rolling, guys.
Speaking of value, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I haven't dropped any Lucid info in a while. That's because I really haven't had any. But I got some fresh for you today. Yesterday, motherfucking Peter Rawlinson, CEO of Lucid's fucking calls closed at 37 cents a piece for 857,000 shares. So that was extremely bullish for Lucid yesterday. They went up about 6%. If they do go red today, I doubt it'll be higher than like 2%, and they will rush back up tomorrow. So today is a good buy-in point.
If I may, let's go before journalist gets in here. Let's dip down into the garbage pile here, and pull something out that he's not going to talk about. So Bed Bath & Beyond missed an important deadline yesterday for their bond thing. They had some sort of bond offering that they were trying to sort out, and they missed it. No SEC filing. It's canceled. They're down bigly this morning, and it's not looking fucking good. I believe that was like their last real announced way of generating some money, and they're fucked. I think they have to actually pay their debts this year now.
Bankruptcy.
I want to throw in the one in the bio to keep an eye on. Okay, because I think this one's going to go with the rest of the pack. ENSC. That's Inside Bioscience. Just keep an eye on it. Do your due diligence, and you'll see what I mean. There's low outstanding. Did a reverser on that.
Speaking
one
of
too.
bio, there's an ETF called SANE, SANE, something to look at. They had an IPO, I believe, last week or the week before. I really don't know nothing about them. They're called SANE. It's SANE. Check it out.
Which none of us are.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to not introduce, but would like to invite journalists up to speak. We'll see if he comes up to speak.
Oh, no.
It will be interesting. He says he was busy. He said earlier in the comments, I'm really busy, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up later. But he's typing away in the comment section. So I'm not sure what busy means. Everyone has a definition, I guess.
Busy with them.
What have you done?
Before you invite him up, I'd like to state that journalists, please take note how respectful people are to each other.
Wait, I got one more play before you get him on. I got one more play that I'm doing today. I'm doing one. No, not one. 3 contracts at 400 strike price. XSP for January 19th of 24. So that's a leap. I'm shorting a straddle at the 400 strike price.
Thank you for that. My PP reverted. We reversed, excuse me. I do appreciate that. And once again, that was XXP January 1924. Some straddle. He's buying 300 contracts, as I heard, right?
Three contracts, not 300.
3 contracts. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely was a very useful information for everyone.
Not buying, shorting, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Shorting.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much. That was kind of an insider information. Thank you. There is some guy who basically has recommended Lucid, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that was me, journalist. Also, we don't call it insider information around here. We call it friendly stories.
Oh, friendly stories. Okay, so Lucid is friendly, 10 billion market cap. Can we say that?
Sure.
Yeah, we could say that.
And can you please let us know what's the production of EVs for this year expected, please?
The guidance is 6,000 to 7,000. I think they're close to that number because they reduced guidance initially from 12,000 to 14,000, and that's basically cutting it in half. So they're really setting the bar low for themselves this year. And I think that if they beat that new bar that was set, then they'll be okay. But they really do have to increase production more so than they have been in order to be profitable.
Did you say 6,000 to 7,000 deliveries?
Yes.
And it's trading at $10 billion. Keep this in mind. Can you please check Renault? Okay, Renault is basically delivering 50 to 60,000, and the market cap of Renault is 9 billion. So 6,000 deliveries compared to 60,000.
Yeah, but you can't deliver them all. Their safety is not up to snuff, I don't think, for North America.
You also have to look at the quality and the amount of just like. Hold on a second. Let me just.
Grand rising, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Can I throw in some plays this morning, real quick?
Sure, go ahead, right away.
Yes, sir.
My guys. So, give me a second. I've already been in and out of Mullen, MULN. My entry right now, I just re-entered at 34.59 at 10,000 shares. I got it running up at least 3-4 cents today.
Sorry, hold on. What's the purpose of interrupting a conversation?
I apologize.
He does this every morning, just so you know.
Yeah, I didn't mean no disrespect, sir. It was getting kind of dry. I just want to throw these plays out there and get back to my business, if you don't mind.
He's in and out real quick, journalist.
But your place is like saying, "Hey, today's sunny" or "Today's cloudy." Like no one cares.
But I'm getting money, and what you doing? Sitting on your hands?
Journalist, I'd rather listen to his plays than listen to you try to trap.
100%, Hendricks. I agree with that sentiment, bro.
Sorry to interrupt and mute everybody. I just want to say, let's keep this civil. Okay. I believe Mass was saying, hold on 1 second. So pausing the conversation, technically speaking. So Tuesday said, can I come in real quick and mention some plays? So fair game, right, journalist? So let's let him mention his plays real quick, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I meant no disrespect, sir. So back to the business real fast. We also have PBLA. We're going to continue to play Kala. We made a lot of money on CALA. We're also going to play OBLG. And I bought something else this morning. Give me a second. I did buy into CRKN. And that's it for me, fellas. Keep an eye on COSM as always. Thanks, guys. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Tuesday. Always love your plays. Anyway, journalist, how do you spell Renault, or what's the ticker for Renault? Because I'm not finding it.
Renault is a French automaker. I think it's maybe in the US it's not very well known, but here in Europe it's one of the top.
Okay, journalist.
I believe.
So what I'm gonna need you to do real quick. Hold on. What I'm going to need you to do real quick is I'm going to need you to find out what the ADR is for America, or whether or not
Yo,
it
shut
has
the
one.
fuck
And then,
up and
boom.
let people talk about plays instead of
the
talking about all
ADR
that bullshit. God
Shut up.
damn it.
Shut up. The ADR is RNLSY.
All right, let me just throw this out here real quick, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucid Motors debt is about $2.8 billion. Renault debt's at about $92.96 billion. I'm not sure what year that comes from. 2020.
What's the free cash flow? What's the free cash flow of
I
Lucid
believe
compared to Renault?
I don't have that information on me.
Yeah,
but
then why would you quote the debt? That
I'm
makes
just
no
asking.
sense. It's relative to what? Please learn some
Relative-
basics.
The equity book value for Lucid Motors is $3.23 billion. Okay, Renault, because you're the expert of Renault, you should know the book value of that. So tell me.
You
You
also
see, you
have to look at Renault.
You are just throwing random shit that you are googling without having a proper narrative about valuation.
The narrative is this. The
Hey,
narrative
I'll give
is
you
this.
valuation, journalist. Volkswagen, $35, right? Book value. It's trading at 12 or 13 here on one, and then the other one's 16. Giving you a dividend of 6.5.
Book value. Do you know that you know what book value means, guys?
Yeah, if you took the whole company and fucking liquidated it.
Yeah, but that's like an accounting bullshit rule. Okay, you have to see what's the cash generation. Like holy shit! This is
Well, the
101
Volkswagen's
finance.
had great electric vehicles since 2014.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
let me clarify something.
Yeah.
Let me clarify something. So to bring value to a company, just to clarify, so we can all be on the page of how journalists think. Okay, let's calm down here.
By the way, I only have 5 minutes. I have to jump on a meeting, but do it quickly.
It's fine.
Let's do it quickly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Urgency. I've heard that from a lot of girls before, but I still get to meet them. So you can stay just like them. Here we go. This is what I'm going to say to you. At the end of the day, how do we evaluate a company in the simplest sentence? Doesn't have to be a paragraph. Doesn't have to be 5 minutes long. How do we evaluate a company in journalists' mind to say, hey, this is the book value? Because what Rockstar just mentioned, I would argue is technically a good valuation method. So what is your method in the simplest form?
It's basically free cash flow, because book value is an accounting term. You have a lot of accounting policies that you probably don't know. Okay, how and why assets and liabilities are accounted has absolutely nothing to do with the real world. Okay, the real world is about how, like, what's your capacity to generate cash based on those assets, and that's what the accounting part or the books are missing and have always missed. Okay, it's a free cash flow versus accounting based thing. The accounting bullshit liquidation metric only is useful for like companies that are actually going to be liquidated. They have no capacity other than just owning some properties, assets that you can actually value, let's say land or a building. Okay, then it makes sense. But when you have factories, a brand, how do you account that in the book value? It's impossible. The only way is through free cash flow.
I have a real world observation.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, journalist. I think I just got a call from your boss saying that you got to go to the meeting early.
I'm leaving. Thank you very much. Have a great.
Have a wonderful day, journalist. This was
Thank
actually
you
the
for
most
your
pleasant
input.
talk I've had with you.
Yeah, it
All
was
right,
actually
now back to
accomplished.
players.
That actually accomplished what I could have just told you guys earlier. If he was going to pick Renault, I'll just pick Volkswagen.
Also, a real world observation about Renault that's not captured on the financials or the accounting is that those cars suck balls.
Yeah,
and
want to buy a Tata?
They're dual
right?
motor in that when the electric motor breaks down, you can pedal that shit like Flintstones.
You know, like
Hello.
and
I would like to ask an financial advice here.
Sure.
Probably not a good place to ask, but yeah. I'm about to get a personal loan of 50K from my girlfriend. and short the Tesla stocks. What do you guys think?
Are you being serious?
I think. Wait. I think
Do
you're
you
about
want
to
your
get
girlfriend to
50
have a new boyfriend?
No, you're about to get a 50K loan from your soon-to-be ex-girlfriend, of which you will have maybe 12K remaining, and you can go from there. And if that's a choice you want to make, please post the story. We would love to follow it. All the details and highlights would be great. If you can include her texts back and forth between you, which, yes, where the money is and what's going on, would be beautiful, because we live for that, and we appreciate your sacrifice in the greater good of the market. Keep it up.
And if she's a
Being
10
an
out of 10,
absolute unit.
and if she's a 10 out of 10, I know some friends that are looking for some dates. So feel free to send her my way, and I will send her the DMs.
No, you guys are laughing at this guy, but when he comes back and that 50K is 75K, you'll all be.
Then he'll turn it into
Hell,
he'll
it
put
might
into
be
something else.
100K.
Why
Look,
short with the
He's gonna
excessively
lose
high
by
borrow
next
rate
week.
when you could just buy puts?
I'm just gonna cheer for him. How about that? I wish him the best.
Nah, I'm just joking. We'll just like to see your reaction there. Anyway, you guys continue your talk just now. Thank you, man.
No, you're obligated to do that now. So you got to post proof later on or ban, right? Opinion.
Yeah, those are the rules.
Exactly. Welcome, Hardy. Interesting that you came just when journalists left. But
Yeah,
probably
he can smell when I'm coming.
Good timing.
Out of context, that's a great sentence.
I've got to play for the day.
Oh God.
Speaking of smelling, can I talk about Beyond Meat going into Costco?
What?
It's not already been there?
Is it exclusive? I thought Impossible Foods had the exclusive on non-meat protein or artificial protein.
That I do not know. I just know that Beyond Meat is going into Costco, which is quite an interesting play. And I just wanted to leave that open to you guys.
I've actually seen it in Walmart.
Are you guys all at like the grocery store? Like,
I do. I get that. I get that meat. I get that. I get them like fake meat burgers because high cholesterol. But yeah, I would just eat red meat all the time, and I have to stop. And they're not bad. But thing is, I'm not going to buy the Beyond Meat ones that are going to be more expensive. I'm going to buy the my missus does the shopping. She'll buy the cheaper ones. You know what I mean? And they're just as good. They all taste the same. I've had the Beyond Meat ones, McPlants and everything. They all taste exactly the same. So you can get ones, in the cheaper stores, which are just as nice, like Aldi's and stuff. Like I don't know if you got Aldi's over there, but fantastic. They taste just about the same as meat. And my play for the day has been DAX Bits. 14,000 strike price. Expiry tomorrow. Yeah. So there you go.
can you spell that ticker for us? Sorry.
Oh, it's the DAX. It's
DEX. DEX. Sorry. Go ahead.
the German market, basically. The DAX 40. DX, yeah.
So the reason why I bring up Beyond Meat, just real quick, not to cut off anybody, was just the fact that I thought it was an interesting play that Beyond Meat failed in McDonald's, failed at different places, outlets for trying their fresh, I guess you would say, restaurant flavors. And now they're going to go in as a frozen steak for Costco and different meats. And I'm curious if there's just going to be this big push in 2023 for this artificial food or laboratory food.
Any details on the length of the partnership?
I do not have that, and nor is it disclosed right now.
I would think there will be. I think there will be uptake on it. I think their sales will increase. Just thinking from someone who's out shopping all the time, and sees what other people are buying, and the missus notices this a lot as well. And it is getting bought more. It is getting stocked more. And we live in like the arse end of Scotland. You know what I mean? So if it's happening here, then it's happening all over the country 10 times. You know what I mean? And obviously in the States as well, it'll start happening. But you guys are big meat eaters. It's going to be difficult for you guys to change. But in the UK, people have changed to quite easily. You know what I mean? And the price as well. You can get the fake mints. I get the fake mints, and I stick all kinds of spices into it. It tastes fucking amazing. It tastes just amazing. I make fajitas out of it. It tastes brilliant. You know, I'll have red meat just once a week instead of every day now. But yeah.
All right, I appreciate that. And yes, Das Mystery one is steak is steak, and also Eastern Jello 8190 says they are still in Panda Express. So I guess Beyond Meat is there, and yeah, so that's BYND for Beyond and Costco for COST. But yeah, go ahead, you guys can take the room now.
And we are in a war, so don't forget that. People will eat anything.
Is Beyond Meat sold at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods at more pretentious yuppie places?
What was that? Can you say that one more time?
My apologies. I think I talked over somebody. But I was asking if Beyond Meat is sold at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods.
I don't think that they would carry such stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Beyond Meat is held at places like that because of the deal or whatever that they have with whoever they have it with.
Gotcha. Well, Costco seems like a pretty big deal, even though I hate the thought of Beyond Meat.
I'll concur with that. I'll concur with that one. That's a good one because there's more than just what they do with that. Like they could do sausages and other things, right?
I've tried them all, and it's not that bad. Seriously, you can switch. It's not that bad.
It's salty though. It's got
not really. You know, it's not really. I find
Please move on.
You know, and I think people will take to it. I think it's a long term play, obviously, but I definitely think about buying calls. You know,
well, been beaten up enough. It's
exactly.
It's the time to pounce on that in a sense.
I want to buy shares.
Sorry to interrupt, but thanks for coming to WallStreetBets Food Reviews.
You sound like a review bra.
So what else do we have? Don't want to get too caught up on just Beyond Meat.
Well, just an interesting comment in the comment section from N Lunny. EV Go and Amazon partner to enable EV drivers to locate and pay for charging with Alexa.
Interesting, but is that just like an Alexa skill? Is it actually meaningful?
That is a good question.
It probably wouldn't be.
Go ahead.
But if we're going over economic data, I do want to point out that the non-farm employment change is almost 60% higher than expected, which implies people are changing jobs, and unemployment claims are lower than expected. So it's possible that those who were laid off in Q4, whose official separation date is Q1, are still sitting on the moderately juicy severances they received. And it's entirely possible the unemployment number can go up. I do want to point out that the natural gas storage amount comes out at 10:30 today. Keep in mind the U.S. went through a deep freeze in December. So if natural gas storage is much lower than expected, currently minus 230 billion, whatever the unit is, cubic feet, there's a chance that that you can buy calls on Boyle, the natural gas ETF. So look for as close to 0 DTE Boyle calls, maybe 30 delta or even 20 delta by 10:20 a.m. if you really want to burn a hole in your pocket. Maybe make some cash.
When do those numbers come out again, Hardy?
10:30 Eastern.
10:30 Eastern. Okay, yeah, I've been waiting for those ones.
This would reflect natural gas storage net of the December freeze.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware, it snowed in South Carolina, I believe, which almost never happens.
Texas as well, didn't it?
Well, Texas is pretty tall, so
Fair
North Texas doesn't mean much. But there is a visualization on Reddit showing the swath of the U.S. that got covered by cold Arctic air. So you can imagine how that affected natural gas.
Yes, and that people are now not even close to used to that.
Hey, Hardy, what do you think about the China using coal to create energy, essentially, and people moving away from natural gas. Do you think that's just kind of a one-off thing, or do you think it's something to pay attention to?
Doesn't affect U.S. natural gas markets, especially if China is buying coal from North Korea and natural gas from Russia.
All right, thank you.
In Canada, you can play the leverage gas daily bull, and it is HNU. That's Beta Pro.
So uranium is being used for clean energy. I assume there'll be some pickup for it in 2023. Is that something to look at right now, or do you think it's overpriced?
The sector as a whole is underpriced.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I mean it's a product. I've been over this. It's a product that has an all-in incentive cost of $65 that sells on the open market at $50. So that's not sustainable from an industry.
All right, and what do you guys think about the Hershey's lawsuit that just happened not too long ago for saying there's too much metal in the dark chocolate?
Fuck, my buddy fucking found a piece of like metal like I never seen. He almost broke his tooth on it. I heard it.
I think it's for the most part fallen out of the news.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Why are they doing anything to get people to not eat healthy? They're putting metal in the dark chocolate now. What the fuck is up with them?
Harvey. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Das Moss Tree 1 Hardy wants to know, did you say Delta 0.20 6.5 calls for January 6th?
So Delta 20 to 25 calls at 10:20 a.m. for if January 6th is the next expiration, then that one on board. But this is only if you believe natural gas storage numbers will be dramatically lower than the current negative 230 billion cubic feet expected. I also want to point out crude oil inventories comes out at 11 a.m. Eastern. This is a weekly number, so if lower than expected, it may benefit USO, but probably unlikely considering the volumes that are mentioned here.
Talking about oil, I have an oil stock that recently dropped.
This man is baked.
Do you want to name that oil stock, or do we have to like complete a maze
I was looking
and it's
for
at the end?
looking for Scorpio Tankers STNG. Like it recently broke the 50 MA. It might drop further. So like buying puts on that. But then I'm bullish on this. Based on those numbers that come out, like it might react heavily. So there might be more volume coming to the stock. So basically I'm like it might drop. So buy puts for now, but then I feel like it might bounce later on. Once it hits the 200 MA. STNG, Scorpio Tanker.
Thanks for bringing me up. Just want to throw a play out. Short on CarMax. KMX. I have puts 55 strike for February. But yeah, you could look to February or further out with lower strike puts. They reported 2 weeks ago. They had a terrible report. They missed bigly. And they went up since then. Also, their pre-report, their PE was around 9. It's now 19. So their earnings estimates have come down. The valuation has gone up. It doesn't make sense. The stock has to come down. So I'm guessing they pumped it up a bit because there's a lot of institutional money in this, and they need a good price to get out, and I think it's coming. So short CarMax. We all know the used car market sucks, and it's going to get worse with this recession coming.
What was your strike price?
I'm in the 55 puts, and also selling $65 calls with protection.
What date on those?
February monthly.
Hey guys, I want to get your opinion on something. So, yesterday an article came out where it has been reported that Microsoft probably integrate the Bing search with ChatGPT, which is like one of the program made by OpenAI. So I was just wondering, like, how effective you guys think it's going to be in taking away the market share from Google searches, if at all.
I think Bing's revenue as a percentage of all of Microsoft's revenue is maybe like 3 or 4%. So I'm not sure if that will really change things for Microsoft. But if they can take on, Google and wear down that almost monopoly, basically a monopoly on search, then maybe, I think it's going to be hard for them to monetize search with ChatGPT. But the bigger loser here is probably going to be Google.
Right. So, opinion, have you used ChatGPT? What do you think of it?
I have. It's good. It's a little bit formulaic, but I think it all comes down to like being able to phrase your questions and thoughts like the way that ChatGPT wants you to. Because if you use Google, you can like completely mistype something like that it's unrecognizable, and Google will still figure it out. But ChatGPT, you have to be very precise, and I think that's going to be a bit of a hurdle for people to get over.
Right. I mean, I agree with that. And also, Google was kind of in a firefight mode when the ChatGPT launched, and when the people saw like how much traffic the site is getting. So I think they're worried about it. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I see someone in the comments, Blueberry, saying they have info on Microsoft and ChatGPT. Feel free to raise your hand and come up. If the platform automatically hides your hand, just try raising it again. I don't know why. It seems like a little bit bugged, but not us. I promise you that. Other people in the comments talking about PagSeguro, which is a finance company in Brazil, which is lowering interest rates, and guys bullish on it. Other people wanting to talk about Boyle, Mullen, ASTS. So not sure if you guys have any thoughts on that, or if anyone in the comments wants to raise their hand and come up and talk about it. Happy to have you up. All I know is that I posted a tweet on Mullen, actually 2 tweets. It was like, if you're lacking perspective on Mullen, zoom out, and it was like the 1 day chart was like down 5%, and the 5 day was like up 40%, and then the second tweet was like, but don't zoom out too much, and then it was like 1 year minus 99%, and then all time minus 99.9%.
Didn't Mullen just either open a plant or recently acquire a plant in Indiana?
They acquired a plant in Indiana.
I just looked at short interest on Mullen. It's barely over like 12%. It's got to be like in the high 40s or 50s for it to squeeze. Am I right? Or obviously higher than that if it wants to like do a GME squeeze. If it's got to be over 100%.
I wouldn't keep looking for that bar. That's probably never going to happen again.
Yeah, sorry. Now that
Yeah,
Jarvis
because-
is around, we're into value vesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because they quote unquote learn from their mistakes. So they're analyzing their shorts even more microscopically pinpoint than they were before.
If it were so easy to look at a couple numbers and find what would rocket, we'd all be quite rich right now.
Couple people at the
Having said that, of course, GME to the moon, AMC to follow, let's go apes, boom boom, rocket emojis, up forever.
I think we've moved a lot. We've moved away from those meme stocks for a while, and I think like the median stuff still doesn't recognize that. Like they still think that like we're all about meme stocks, rah rah rah. But I mean, at least in the Discord, people are still degenning into stuff. I saw someone in the comments mention Bonk, which is like this super shitty crypto. But it's something that a couple people in the Discord got into early, and apparently it like 4x'd, and like basically today since like 1 a.m. it's also been down like 44%. So some real degen plays out there in the crypto world. I'm not sure we should get too much into that.
The ticker SI or Silvergate's still drilling down. Is at 1296 pre-market.
Oh
yeah, people are saying that it's going to go down to about $10. Is it going farther than that?
All I know is my puts are gonna be printing when market opens.
Woo! That's like minus 40%.
So if the U.S. government
Yes, sir.
keeps seizing shares of Robinhood as part of this legal case, which of course will be stuck in the legal case until they can move them on, is there a chance that the government could own the float and be the most diamond of hands for Robinhood?
Yes.
No, because their prerogative is to sell it.
But they need the legal proceedings to finish first, because that's all court stuff, and that could take years. So maybe this is actually the most bullish thing to ever happen to a stock.
I wonder though, does the government lend out shares and earn some income from that? It would be in the best interest of all parties, I would imagine. Maybe Hardy can answer that when he's back.
Is this the new infinite money glitch?
Get your assets seized by the U.S. government? What? Is that the glitch?
Well, I'm talking about for the government, obviously, not for us.
Oh, I am sure they
I
make
was
money.
going to say the Native Americans had some experience with government seizure, and they're really rich, as far as I know.
Yep. I see Blueberry is up here. Did you want to talk about Microsoft and ChatGPT?
Yeah, sure. The guy who brought it up. So the way Microsoft product cycles work, they work in like 2 or 3 years planning together, and they already planned a lot of the work till 2024, 2025 last year. But the way they are thinking about ChatGPT in terms, I don't work with Microsoft, by the way, so this is all just hearsay. The way they are planning to do it is they're going to use their bundle to basically sell ChatGPT as a feature in all of their like Outlook. You don't have to type an email; you just type a sentence saying like, "It will know the entire chain of that email, and then you will just say like, hey, write a check-in message for Smith or whatever, right? And it's gonna do that for you with a little bit more detail, and you can just click send. And obviously the Bing search is also coming up. So they're thinking it from like a lot of different perspective, and each team, because they already decided a lot of product work that has to be done in the next 2-3 years. They are looking at different PMs or 1 or 2 PMs in like core teams, and basically tasking them to see how they can leverage this in terms of the like adding new features and making it part of the big bundle. But yeah, so I'm quite bullish on the next 2-3 years on Microsoft using ChatGPT for that.
We need a reverse chat. That way, if you can just say, mention 4 or 5 words and I'll write an email, you should be able to take an email and have it condensed down to 4 or 5 words. You don't have to read all that shit.
It does that too. Yeah. So you can get, if you have tried ChatGPT, like you can give it a like 4-page word and just say like summarize it into like 10 lines and it's gonna do its job. But you lose details, but yeah, it works both ways.
I have a question on Silvergate. I know it's down a lot. Is it gonna keep on dropping, do you think? Or like
It could go up or it could go down.
Well, SBF, he did plead not guilty to all charges, so there's that. Tough crowd.
Cricket.
I believe SBF is innocent.
Whoa.
Whoa, okay there, buddy.
There we go.
So much
It's like
for the
saying
political
R.
rules
Kelly's
of the
innocent
room.
as well.
Everybody's just waiting till market open to see how our positions are.
Yeah, I wonder if that's trepidation or with excitement. I know Alex is.
No, that's everybody's ego is gonna come out, or everybody's not gonna talk at 9:30.
Just quickly. So the seized shares would belong to an estate, so I don't think that the U.S. government would be able to lend them out.
Oh man, this is going to be the Diamond Hands estate? Guys, Robinhood. We just need more fraud and they'll be the most bullish stock ever.
We need Paul Pelosi and his boyfriend involved in this.
I think the real lesson learned is buy a bunch of shares in something, and then if you commit fraud, the float is forever locked. Right? This is the big brain play.
By the way, I think 2 days ago, the Philadelphia Federal Reserve released a report that said, or released a chart that says 26 states are having negative growth so far.
would that be year over year?
I'm not sure. I have to see if it's year to date or year over year. I would like to think it's year over year.
All right, don't hit me for this,
Short
but
the housing market.
what?
Oh, come on, opinion. Don't bring them up yet. It's not even market open. Come on. At least wait the 4 minutes, bro.
Okay. But no, I was thinking about shorting BBBY, or at least buying puts, or actually buying puts, not shorting.
Yes, I think all of you guys should buy puts on BBBY. I agree with that opinion. That will, I really think that's a good idea because that's exactly what we need BBBY. We need the sentiment. We need everyone, all retail, to start buying puts. So the market makers are like, you know what? Flip it. and then it goes up to $5-7. But yeah, I think BBBY is going to drop down to about $1.50, and then it's going to skyrocket up to $5.70 before going bankrupt. That's my thesis.
What's the thesis of why it would
To the
quadruple?
moon.
It's just the market makers trying to get some of their capital out of their exposure. They're gonna let it go through its earnings next week on the 10th. It's gonna be beat down till then, but then we're gonna see some volatility around the 20th, and it's probably gonna pop back up to around. I could see $4 to $7 easily, and then it's gonna crash. But that's just my thesis.
Hey, Opinion, quick question. Do you ever hear of Amert Pharmaceuticals, symbol AMYT?
I have not.
Okay. They were like a high flyer a few years ago, and I actually probably bought them at double the price they're at now, but they've come up with some good news recently, and just the trading volume. It's very lightly traded, but it's gone up like 4 or 5 times from middle of December. So just AMYT is I'm probably going to buy more of it today.
Am I looking at the same ticker you are? This looks like hasn't really moved. Amrit Pharma?
Yeah, AMYT.
Yeah. You said it went up 4 times?
No, I said it was up about twice as high as this.
Oh, I see what you're
It
saying.
was at 14. I bought it like 2 years. It was one of those high flyer things that were just going crazy, and I like it now. It seems like it's gotten good support, and it's got some news about cholesterol drugs for kids that's positive. So obviously they're tweaking it, but I have noticed that the volume's like gone. The volume I said has gone up like 5 times. Went from like 16,000 shares daily to like yesterday close to like 180,000 shares traded. A lot of
Did you say cholesterol drugs for children?
Yeah, it's
what's the market for that?
Well, that's what they're into, like specialized medicine, Hardy, but it's phase 3 trial of a treatment for children age 5 to 17 met its endpoint with clinically and statistically meaningful results. It's basically hard for the body to remove bad cholesterol from the blood for these kids. So they're finding some niche. It's what they do from what I've studied. They find it's niche medicine, if you will, but they probably charge a premium once they come up with this stuff. All right, market's open.
What is your guys' opinion on Coinbase with it being down so low, and Luke Toboya is buying up over 160,000 shares over the last 6 to 8 months?
An opinion, we don't hate you for your plays. We hate you because you're Canadian and your treatment of veterans.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Well, I mean, me personally, I don't mind either of those, other than the fact that you continually bring up journalists. That's the only beef I got with you. No, I'm just kidding. It's your show. Your job. You do it.
Well, joke's on me because I was hoping to play Bed Bath and Beyond puts yesterday, and then like around I was gonna open them like near the end of the day, and then at 3:15, journalist called me on Discord, and I forgot about it, and now I'm eating my sadness, my tears, as BBBY opens at oh man, I don't even want to check. It's 180. Down 23%. Would have been nice. Instant 50%
opinion. My $1
I'm
put
so
on
sorry, bro.
BBBY just moved for the first time in 2 months.
Tesla back to the drill team.
Yeah, my BBBY $1 puts are printing.
Tesla's -4.
Was the jobs report that off from expectation that we think that the Fed will materially change their rate hiking policy? I mean, This seems like pretty big moves for what seemed like a relatively small softness.
A Fed member also was interviewed this morning, Esther George, and she was just saying how her overall rate outlook has increased to like 5.4 through 2024.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, my SI put is up by 22,000%.
Yeah, sorry, it sounded like you said 22,000%.
Holy shit.
Wasn't it like $21 earlier?
22,000%. So if you put in like $1, did you just wait? How much did you just make?
$200 something. And I have 4 contracts.
Holy shit.
$28,000% now.
I mean, I think it goes without saying, but congrats and up yours.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Kayla's still continuing nice rebound today. I think it's up 12%.
Mullins climb is at 37 cents.
HKD halted at open.
HKD, is that the one that went up to like $2,000 and then back down? Or what is that?
Yeah, it's one of those. Yep, that's the one. I think it reached like 2,500 even. Like one of the very many weird stocks out of China.
It's kind of weird opinion because it had a it had a 2.6 million volume candle at 9:31 right after open, the minute after open.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Its average volume is 573,000 for the day. So I bet you they're hedging themselves using these stocks.
Holy crap, it's up, what, $8.59 on the day?
Yeah, just since 9:31.
Damn it, Notes, aren't you supposed to be telling us about this shit before it happens?
It's unhalted and it's rocketing.
Yeah, I was looking at HKD too, but I was like, no, dude, I was just so mad.
Never mind, it's crashing.
Oh my god, 108%. $20, 21. Oh, halted again. Never mind, it's still going.
That one might skyrocket again like it did last time.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I think they're using it to leverage or get better exposure because they can quickly pump up those type of low stocks, get more exposure, liquidity, and then make a move.
What ticker are you guys talking about?
We were looking at HKD.
Oh, that pump and dump.
Yeah.
Like with these, it just might pump, but it could just sell off the next day.
I bought exactly 1 share just in case to see what happens.
It's gonna be the one share that blasted off.
Yeah. Did it get filled?
Yes, sir. It got filled at. Give me 1 second. It got filled at $19.75. I'm profiting $2.56. Oh, 13%.
Up 12% on 2 shares. Should I
What
add?
are music?
MEGL was also one of those stocks that got pumped with the HKD.
Bears. That's what you were asking for.
Yeah, all those ones that you're talking about, like the AMD, whatever TD, the one that's up huge today, the one with the liquidity in it. Just remember that I know this isn't super stonk, but Chumbawamba, I think that's the guy's last name, that everybody seems to hate on there. That's from Loop Capital. He's behind all these. There's like about 3 of them. I researched this quite deeply, and these were the scams of like basically after the aftermath to try to keep people afloat from the GME escapade. So tread lightly. Obviously, take it if you can, but obviously, when he said earlier, pump and dump, that's what they are. Obviously, I tried researching these things, and they're just past the buck to some like it's actually like people that don't even exist. It seems like.
Yeah, I feel like they're pumping
Okay.
and dumping. That way they have more liquidity to be able to move the markets for the options that they own.
All right, guys.
For the yearly leaps coming up.
I paper handed. I made profit off of my SI. I made $360 for every contract, and I had 4 of them.
Nice digital high five to
I'm
you,
done.
buddy.
I'm done for the day.
Oh, good for you, buddy. Hey, you need one of those. You
hold it no
need one
more,
of
bro.
those to start the year off. It's nice.
Yeah, I kept on watching it, kept on going up, down, up, down. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna set an order for $3.60, and it filled.
Yo, you gotta leave some runners.
You never lose taking profit.
No, you don't.
No,
Even on
like-
even on TD.
Like one.
like Tendy Chaser says, profit is profit no matter what.
Yeah, I'm looking at the.
Nah,
I'm
I'm
looking
happy for you, bro. Congrats.
the highs and the lows, right on TD. They're just showing the day lows 141, right? But they're not showing the percentage gains off the 5 cents that it was yesterday on these puts. I'm looking at the $13 puts, and they're up at 160.
My Tesla puts are printing right now.
But they were 5 cents yesterday.
What's Tesla?
Like 4% and dropping. I've been saying Tesla's gonna go drop even more. Minus 5% currently. 5.09.
Sorry.
I got a feeling Silvergate will drop to $10 though.
That $100 mark got to be a magnet for Tesla.
Test it.
Yeah, but they're gonna get crushed by this Silvergate thing, probably too, a little bit, maybe. Gonna crush crypto a bit. You'd think.
How much crypto holdings does Tesla still have?
That's true enough. He probably cashed it all in.
It was never a material amount.
No, it was just all for. It was all just for idea.
Opinion, where's that sweet, sweet waiting music?
It's playing. Do you not hear it?
I can hear it.
Or
Yeah,
just
I
noise
can
on
hear it
my
as well.
Yeah, I think he's got it on the lowest volume setting. That's all.
Yeah, I don't want to, blast you guys with music.
I can hear it.
Sometimes it makes it hard for people to hear people speaking.
Yeah, we also have to recognize the people that use headphones. We don't want to blow anybody's ears off.
Yes, absolutely.
On SI, if you go out to February 24th, $17 is the lowest put that's available to buy or sell. So I guess you guys ruined their plans. They weren't supposed to be this low in the matrix.
Got him.
Now I'm on a shitty Robinhood app, so I don't know why that would be.
Guys, I need SPY to fall to 370 to offload this back hold that I have of 4,000. So if anybody wants to buy calls to help me out, so the market can inverse, that'd be great.
Okay, I will buy your calls, but I can only pay in future BBBY stock.
As long as you buy, so the market can inverse and dump, so I can let go of these bags here. I'm fine.
All right. We got a deal. One man's bags for another man's bags.
Well, for another man to break even.
I want to give a shout out to the person who brought up SI last night. I think it was Slut Spoiler, I believe.
It was.
Yeah, so shout out to Slut if you're here, bro. Thank you for that call last night because it paid
Dude,
off
I
this morning.
heard you guys talking about it, and I thought you were just talking about something about silver, and I hate silver so much that I was like, oh, fuck it.
No, spoiler really called it and such. I was concerned that there wasn't enough meat on the bones for it to drop, and sure enough, it tanked.
Yo, that's crazy.
Well, that's where your Canadians come in too, right?
Yeah, but how likely is it that he called a 40% drop? I mean, does he have insider information?
No,
Should we investigate this guy? No.
he didn't know it was
No,
gonna
but you know
drop.
what?
He just like he thought it was gonna drop just a little bit, like maybe like around that $18-19 range. But Jesus, dude, it's still drilling down.
Yeah, but when shit flies downhill, it really flies downhill with the crypto with FTX now, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's getting ready for the.
it's doing what they want it to do. They hate it so much,
man,
that they're gonna love it so much when they're finished with it.
It's gonna rally so hard next year.
We're all gonna hate it.
Not to speak positively about it, but it's still a bank.
You guys know the reason why it's falling so much?
They're insolvent, supposedly. People can't make withdrawals or something.
A report came out saying that their crypto assets dropped by half.
It just becomes systemic, right? Because of the frantic ness of the whole thing, right?
I would say buy calls for next year for the company.
I think pretty much any bank, if there was a major bank run, would have issues, like Nationwide or in the crypto case, worldwide, any bank would have issues.
Wonder if they, I don't know how this works, but maybe they could be getting attacked from other ends of things, right? Like hacked, you know what I mean? At the same time.
So they sold debt securities for cash, and then 5.2 billion worth, and then one sec. They went from almost 12 billion in crypto assets, aka digital assets, down to 7.3 billion.
Were their clients, were they more of, say, the
Scald would say they're the bank of crypto.
Yeah, sorry, my phone glitched out. They're not really say like individual customers. It'd be your bigger exchanges, correct?
SI, yeah, SI. All of the U.S. crypto companies have to go through SI to like clear to go to cash. So if SI goes down, if Silvergate goes down, then the crypto industry as a whole will be stunted.
They know what they're doing. Whoever's doing what they're doing.
I have a question on that oil report that was gonna come out. Like when does it come out and what's it called?
Comes out at 10:30, I believe. And I think the gas comes out at the same time, but I'm not certain. I already had the information.
Yeah, I have a question. But this is Suresh, new to this online talk. I'm actually invested in marijuana industry SNDL since 2020, and then like it got pumped, but I was like didn't take it out. But right now I'm still averaging down from a long time. Just need your inputs on how does it play out in the future. Is it good to stay or get out
Well,
of it?
you want to give us some tickers here? I could tell you if they're garbage.
SNDL.
Oh, Sundial. Okay, well you're fair there. That's like I like high tide myself.
Okay.
But that's on the. It's actually in the American side too, a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, you know what? I see good if they get this legislation going.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think they're gonna be dealing with war here for a bit again.
Okay.
I just have this bad feeling that we're gonna get surprised again here, with something that we don't know is always been going on in the background, but we just didn't see it. So, but when that all settles down, if that happens, let's just say that I think it's good for a pub if they can get this legislation going, but they got to get it going. Like you got the Republicans now kind of going, some of them saying like, get your fucking shit in order, like you said you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Always excuses, right? Anyways, just stick in there, peace down. Stick with your good guys. Don't stick with the junk.
So the other thing about Silvergate is that they also announced a like 150 million or so of the assets tied to customers that filed bankruptcy, which is a considerable amount. So the customers are having troubles.
Okay. And I'm very new to, I mean, I missed the last pump of the crypto, but I'm very new to the crypto market as well right now. So I invested in CRO. How do you think it's going to play out? CRO is the crypto Kronos.
Isn't that crypto.com coin?
Yeah, crypto.com, yes.
My opinion is that it's kind of a trash coin.
I think it's all trash, to be honest.
Although it does run on the Cosmos Atom network. Or they use it as the SDK and such.
Okay. Awesome. I appreciate it. Is there any ticker in terms of like crypto that you actually feel apart from the Bitcoin? Repeat that.
Great. What were you saying?
Is there any other ticker that comes into your mind apart from the CRO that's trash coin, like which is a legit kind of apart from the Bitcoin, Ethereum things?
For tech or for like trying to like spin money off of?
Yeah, trying to spin money like off of.
Not in the current market for me, at least.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just for you guys' information here, I didn't know that the because it's a Canadian stock and usually you can't play options. This is interesting to me, but it's because it's a beta pro for the natural gas leverage daily bull ETF. It's trading at $4. Obviously off of yesterday's leverages. It's off 77 cents, so off 15% or almost 16%. I think these numbers are going to be way off for inventories. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a shoot up here in the gas, but that's just my opinion. But they have options out there for HNU. You can see, take a look. They're monthlies only though, so be careful.
So Suresh, I kind of like Atom. So it's an inflationary coin though, but it makes some interesting moves. So there's opportunities to just like swing trade it and such over periods of time.
All right. Well, since we've reached this point, there is only one solution. Welcome back, journalist.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit busy. I'm writing an email, so keep talking, audience. I'm listening. I will jump on quickly and share some real bets. Meantime, yeah, keep wasting people's time.
Well, why don't you bet on some gas? Get some Canadians. Bet on the numbers. What do you think? What do you think the numbers are going to be? You think they're going to be a drawback, or you think there's going to be excess gas, natural gas?
Come
Make
on,
a
what do you
guess.
think, journalist? Let's see.
Oh, journalist is still typing away, so until he gets back. Anyone else? One?
You're in the
He's just talking
matrix, sir.
underwater. I think he's
I removed
underwater,
him. I
just
don't
like
know.
his house.
I think he was starting up a car from the 1920s.
Yeah, Renault.
Yeah, good one. Is he still here? I don't see him.
Journalist? No, he's still here. Someone was talking about natural energy.
I
Or
was just
natural
talking
gas?
about natural gas. The HNU, it's a beta pro. It's leveraged. But we will see. I'm interested to see what these numbers are.
So to a certain extent, the leveraged ups and the leveraged down have decoupled in certain days. So there is some arbitrage opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I've
Wait.
noticed here, because it's like it's way off today. All it
Did
takes
he
is
respond or not? My app glitched.
You want me to repeat what I said?
Last thing I heard was if journalists like responded to the oil thing, but that could continue.
Oh, what I was mentioning is with the natural gas, some of the leveraged ETFs, so the ones that have an up and a down that are supposed to typically correspond, there's been some arbitrage opportunities where they'll decouple by like 20 to 30 cents or so, or up to $1 for a period of time.
What do you think? Go take a look at this HNU. It's on the Canadian side, right? But you could still play it on the options. Take a boo at it and see what you think. Because this thing gets volatile as shit when it does. Like this thing screwed me in the way back in the past when gas was $17 back in the 2005 or whatever, 2006. But you got to get in and out of this thing. This is an option. You know what I mean? As a stock itself.
You said HNU.
Yeah, HNU, Beta Pro, Natural Gas Leverage Daily Bull ETF. So, but you can put puts on it too. You can do either end. So find this one very interesting. I didn't know you could do this. So I'm not an options guy, but on days like today, I might play something like this. This is like, flip a coin.
I think journalist is writing the longest email ever.
Somebody should inform him that chat GBT could write his emails.
He's probably sending out his resume for jobs to his boss finding out what he's like.
No. Actually, what would be kind of funny is if we ended the call at 10 o'clock and didn't leave him anytime.
I love how Opinion's like, guys, what would be a great prank is if you let me leave and stopped holding me hostage. Wouldn't that be hilarious? That would be the greatest prank ever, right, guys? Guys? Anyone?
All right. Stop the bullshit. So there was some guy who told that he was kind of about to lose money because he bought options on SPY. Is that correct? Yeah, let's assume yes.
That's correct. I mean, that's
because
half the sub journalist. So yeah, go from there.
Yeah. So yeah, the way you should be investing. Yeah, this is the thing that you don't get. You are not hardy. Okay, stop looking at the gamma, beta, delta, whatever. Don't put your bets on options unless it's an hedging transaction. Meaning, you should have already kind of, get into the stock market by the end of December. Everyone knew that hedge funds, the big investors, the smart money were about to sell their position and repurchase start of this year. So you should have been like buying their, and what's the reason why they would sell it? Because of the tax credit, right? Everyone knows that. So how is it that you fucking go like on one direction, ignoring the other direction? So the only way you would buy an option on SPY is because you already have a long portfolio position, okay? If you are shorting SPY, is you want to hedge it, right? You following me, guys, or?
Journalist, may I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
You are correct. However, this isn't value vesting, so the people around here, myself included, we eat crayons and lick 9-volt batteries. You are correct, but we don't do it for the long-term goal.
So you want to lose money?
But it is interesting to hear your perspective of how you.
It's not a perspective. You're playing the wrong game.
No. I know, but guess what? I think people like to listen to a value trade, like that you're trying to explain over a long term.
Hold on, journalist, were you talking about me when I mentioned I was losing 4,000 and need somebody to buy calls, or somebody else?
Yeah.
I lose money.
Oh, me? All right, I'll explain it to you. That lost position, that's my only losing position. It's a 4,800, and it's not long option. It's a short leap 4,800 strike on the SPX.
I actually think he was talking about the dude with talking about Lucid. I think that's the stock he's talking about as well.
Journalist, I would like to hear how you would hedge, or like if you were to play the SPY, how we should leverage.
Well, right now, for the rest of, other than that sole naked position, the rest of my portfolio is hedged through short straddles, leaps, on the SPX and the XSP.
Okay.
So I'm both
For a
short at
second
the
there, I
money.
thought that was journalist. My bad, dude.
Oh yeah, they say I sound like him. I don't see it.
Yeah, I've never been in the same room together, so.
So, journalist here, I got one for you. So,
Uh-huh.
based on the inventories coming out today for the gas, for the natural gas, right? Come out at 10:30 Eastern time. Based on, I think the inventories are going to be way lower than what they think, right? And I'm looking at this HNU, which is a Beta Pro natural gas leverage daily bull ETF, right? So if they're not there, It's trading at $4 right now, and it's based off of yesterday, so it has to recalibrate every day, obviously. But it's trading at $4 off 77 cents. If those numbers come out way off of what they're expecting, I think that the inventories are going to be way off because of the storm that they had.
What is that ticker?
HNU. But you can play it. You can play it in options as well. So kind of want to know your opinion and what you think that the inventories might be.
What the fuck I know about inventories? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
just asking.
I'm as ignorant as you are, but the difference is that I'm humble. I recognize that I cannot kind of, guesstimate the fucking gas, inventory. No, yes, it's being humble because you're playing smart. Being not a smart guy, obviously.
Serious question for you, and I mean no malice in this. Serious question.
Yeah.
You are aware that, like, do you know what Wall Street Bets as a sub is?
Yeah, 99% of people losing money. Yeah, I know that.
So, but like, you understand that this sub, in its very essence, was founded on kind of the joke notion that, like, the market is a casino. It's the same as playing
money
roulette,
is not
but
a
it means-
joke. Money is not a joke.
Yes,
please.
But understand, you're coming into.
You
a
are
sub.
misguiding newbies. The new users joining the Wall Street Bets are being misguided by you.
Journalist, tell him, journalist. I'm just trying to say, you might find the crowd on like our investing very much meet your ideas. You're right. What Wall Street Bets says is pretty crazy, but I think most people here understand, like, you don't go 100% of your portfolio into SPY plays randomly on a whim. They talk about it, but that's not like, most people here will tell you, like, those are tiny plays that they make as a joke. They have their boring boom report. I think you're just missing that. Like, when people talk about these things, that's not like, hey, my 401k is all in SPY calls expiring tomorrow. And if someone does do that, then we usually don't ever hear from them again. That's just what people talk about because that's what people find interesting here, but it's not their main position. And I feel like maybe you haven't figured that out.
Very well put. And I would add to that, journalist, that there's something called asset allocation. So you could put some of your money into bonds, you can put various risk levels, right? And then you can take like 5% of your money and put it into some of these Wall Street Bets recommendations. And if you make money on it, it's fine. If you lose money on it, you're not going to have to worry about selling your house.
I agree, but
like give him a for instance. Give him for instance. Who just made 22,000% today?
It was actually a little bit more. It was close to 32,000.
Nice.
Okay, so there's a perfect example of
a perfect example of randomness. Like it's like going to casino.
Well,
yes, but that's it.
Very lucky.
Yeah, you're right. There you go.
Journalist,
Bingo,
yes.
journalist. You just said it. It's a freaking casino, and that's what I did, bro.
But
one day,
the same way I go to Vegas every year and I make money or I lose money is the same way
Yeah.
I did this. It's
there will be one day.
50 journalists.
Hold on a second, guys. I think you're both kind of in the right here. We discussed serious plays on Wall Street Bets as well as, the off the wall stuff. And it can be hard to convey, your position size and your conviction in anything, in a quick, concise message over, voice or text. So, I mean, just keep that in mind, and keep in mind that, the people on each side, some of them are playing, the few dollars here or there, buying like very far out of the money puts for like a couple dollars, or they could be playing with significant money, you don't know. And so it is probably not a good move to kind of just assume. And the other thing too is journalists mentioned that, all of you guys just lose money. And I think there's definitely more losses here on Wall Street Bets than everywhere else, but that's not because other people aren't losing money. It's because they don't talk about it. And I think that's the one core thing that separates Wall Street Bets from everybody else, is that authenticity of
And
people
there's
talking about their losses.
two ends
and
to the
mistakes.
stick, right? There's always a loser and a winner, right? So
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, and don't get me wrong, journalist is correct. I mean, money's not something you play with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was shitting bricks last night when I bought my puts for SI, but the only reason why I went along with this is because someone gave pretty good DD on it, and I went with my gut instinct. And I mean, I didn't go with the logical solution because I knew my logical mind was gonna just tell me don't do it, and my gut just told me go along with it. And guess what? It paid out this morning. So
unbelievable. But I agree with you too, journalist. Like, be smart with your money. I mean, money doesn't grow on trees, even though it's made out of trees or something like that. But yeah, I see where you're trying to come with the full out logical path to the future. You know, so
Appreciate that.
Journalist,
Okay.
I have a question on a stock for long term value investing. What your opinion would be on Rolls Royce for they build the small modular nuclear reactors.
Yeah, I never actually evaluated that stock because I think I disqualified it once because it has a military kind of business unit, if I'm not wrong. And as you know, I'm very ethical in my investments. If I see something dirty, I don't touch it.
Fair enough.
You're welcome.
I think what I just wanted to convey, journalist, is I think you could be quite popular here if you just realize that, like, you don't have to tell us that the plays we make are stupid or that, like, people are being dumb throwing into options. They know that. That's what the sub is about, is people are doing some silly things. And if you just kind of said, like, hey, guys, here's what I think is a smart play, and you don't, like, say, like, that play's stupid, but just kind of just go with, like, here's what I think is smart, I think you'll be very well received, and you will find yourself a very nice spot in this community. That's all I'm trying to say.
I mean, he didn't mention Ryanair. I mean, and it's up as well, just like Sabre. So, I mean, journalists, you do got some good plays. I'll give you that. All right, just.
Oh yes,
like Rat said, you know, just I don't know, just listen to what Rat said.
Yeah, appreciate you people telling me off right now, like I'm a kid here. But yes, going to the bets that I shared, Ryanair is up like 13, 14% since I mentioned it. Kion is up, how much? 65% since I mentioned it.
really, is that was agriculture farming equipment?
No, Kion was equipment for forklifting and automation of supply chain.
Okay.
It's the top 2 of the world. Okay. But it's still very cheap. It's trading at a very low PE ratio.
Did it have a dividend as well?
Yeah, it has I think it was, when I bought it, it was like 8% dividend because I bought it like in the 20.
Well, good pick.
Now it's, of course, every picks of mine is good.
Well, no, you've done your due diligence. You've gone deep on them, and you've probably done your full thesis, right?
I always go deep. Ask Luz if you wanna.
I go pretty deep myself on some of them too.
Very deep. Yeah. Yeah. And
Journalist,
don't go that deep.
In all relationships, there's a give and take. So, with saying that, is there one stock that you could give us that could be a gamble, that it could go really bad, we could lose everything, but we could also gain 300-400%?
Yeah, and that's in line with what it has been mentioned, like 5% of your portfolio can be played as a bet, right? So I'm betting on Kazoo. Kazoo, it's trading like, well, I don't know if I can share it because now it's a penny stock opinion. But it was one of those SPACs that went crazy. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people here that have 2 accounts. You have one account that you buy and hold, and then we have this, say, WallStreetBets opinion account.
Degenerate account.
We did YOLO on.
Okay, so yeah, the ticker.
YOLO with everything.
The ticker is let me check the ticker. It's Kazoo, CAZOO. Yeah, CZOO. This was one of those SPACs. It's trading like 17 cents per share. You can imagine it's coming from the $11. Okay. This is one of my like shitty bets. I just, put some money there and let's have fun. But it's not even 5%. It's like 0 point something % of my portfolio.
Well, and see, it's a penny stock and we can trade options on it. This is the stuff we need. It's a give and take.
What's the ticker one more time, please?
C, Z, and O.
Does have a lot of outstanding shares. It's almost got 750 million out on it, but
yeah, 760.
Half a float.
I feel like that's one that came up sometime last year, I can't remember a thing about it, but I remember it coming up and it being a meme type thing people were big on for a while. Does anyone else remember this, or am I having some like weird hazy memory? Opinion, help me out here.
I do like this though, opinion. Or sorry, journalist. Is the book value per share 69 cents, which people will take a close look at. And their
Another
operating margin and their cash flow and the debt, not bad either.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a good bet, right? And also, maybe it's worth betting. You must have heard that, though the group is listed in the UK. AMC tried, or there was some kind of a speculation that AMC tried to buy out this company. So this is one of the biggest cinema kind of business in the world. It's called Cine World. I don't know how to pronounce it. Cine of Cinema.
Cine World?
Yeah.
Cineworld.
Cineworld.
Yeah.
So basically, they are kind of bankrupt, okay, and they are just looking desperately for a buyer. There has been a lot of speculation in the last months, who's going to buy, who's not, and whenever there is some news, the stock just go crazy, jumps like 20, 30, 40%, okay? Now it's down again because the talks with AMC is not confirmed, or seems like it wasn't happening or something like that. Someone is going to buy that business unit, okay? And I should look at their balance sheet, because I'm sure they own a lot of properties, cinemas, that if you believe that in the future still cinema is not over, it's not like a dead business like Blockbuster, this is like, would be like, trading very cheap. And let me add a third one. This is LATAM airline. This was one of the biggest airlines in the world. In COVID, it went basically bankrupt. Okay, I don't know how badly this was managed by the managers, but this was like a top. This is still the top airline in whole Latin America. Okay, I love it. It's like equivalent to British Airways in terms of quality, and maybe American Airline. Okay, just for you to have in mind. And LATAM basically had been acquiring and merging, all the big airlines within Latin America, South America. So now it's the biggest, I think, airline in that region, and it's
what's the symbol for this?
LATAM. So if there is this, which I believe and everyone believes, recovery of the airline industry by the second half of this year and first quarter of next, okay, like we will start seeing this pre-pandemic level for the first time since COVID happened. This was trading like, it went really bad, like the stock price of this company. So maybe it's worth looking at also, because it's just a bet. So yeah, that's my trade for today. Opinion, you are welcome. You owe me some money because I have kind of kept your audience live again.
It's not Cine, the one that you're talking about with this. It's not Cine Dime, is it?
No, the Cinema World, the ticker.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, the wait, the ticker for this cinema is. Let me just quickly check.
Because the one I found, which I don't think it's the right one, is CIDM.
I think he means so.
No,
I think it's Cinemark, right?
No, it's sorry. No, it's Cineworld Group. It's okay. I'm sorry, guys. Again, I made the same mistake. It's trading in London. I never assume. I cannot believe that you sitting at Wall Street, you have no access to the second most attractive market, which is Europe. It's CINE. Okay, good luck searching this ticker in your Robinhood or whatever, but I do have a US based broker, and I always find like every single stock there. I don't know how you being a US.
What is the airline company? What was the ticker for that one?
That's there is an ADR for that. The ticker for the airline is LTMAY.
I think it's again not listed on the US or Canadian market.
LATAM, it is the LATAM airline. It is, but the Cineworld, I think it's not. Well, anyways,
It is
opinion.
LTH.
Opinion?
LTH.
Where's
I
opinion?
see another one says LTMAQ, but either way, I can't find it on the US market.
Yeah, but thanks for the kazoo. That was a good one. Thank you.
LTMAY. If you're gonna do some due diligence on Kazoo, please keep me posted, right? Because I am very busy. I'm a strategic. I don't have much time nowadays.
Here, I got one for you that I just kind of came across because your Cine the Cinemax ones that you were talking about, Cinemark, whatever. CIDM. It looks interesting because they're all tied into Walmart and stuff like that. Just take a look at it. It's
okay. I will.
43 cents. I know it's junk, but I just came across it. Sometimes you just fluke out and come across these things by typing in shit.
I will. Thank you for that. Let opinion when he's back know that I accept Ethereum as a payment, so he can pay me as a.
Hey, journalist, my Kazoo calls are up 60%. So thank you, bro.
Really? That quick?
Canadians don't have crypto.
All right, I'm leaving you guys. Have fun.
All right. Cheers. And
that seems to have improved. I feel like I've missed so
Can you
much.
talk to us about Canada?
Can I talk to you about Canada?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great country. Broad question here.
Yeah, right.
We've got like a couple major cities, and they're all kind of awesome.
Who's the one that got the Kazoo options?
I did. It's I had 3 of 10 filled.
Did you get the ones that are all the way out on August 18th?
Yeah, the furthest one out for a penny. I think I put them in at 3 cents maybe and it filled.
Yeah, they're up 700% right now. Nice.
Anyway, Canada.
Well, gather around, folks. I'll tell you a story about the country I
Hold
great.
on. Let me go get my blunt for this real quick.
I don't know. There's not much to say. I think our stock market is dominated by. We got a lot of tiny, shitty microcap mining and like lumber companies that are almost always like scams and stuff. But we've got a lot of interesting companies as well. Generally speaking, our population is mostly in Toronto, although Vancouver and Montreal are 2 other big cities, as well as Calgary and Edmonton.
Overpriced Vancouver. You mean?
It's a nice place to live.
I'll actually be flying out to Vancouver in May, but
I'm from Ottawa, Suresh here.
it's only to connect to my Norwegian cruise for Alaska.
Oh, that's a nice walk. Then you'll have a nice walk. That's what time of the year are you going?
I'm going in May towards the end.
May, perfect, buddy. You'll
it's
get the
my
first one. That's
graduation
the best
present.
time to go. You want that first one because then they do the swap, and everything's cleaned, fresh food. It's the best. I went on that same exact one. I highly recommend it to anybody.
Hey, opinion,
why are you going?
Or I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking why was he going? Because he was about to explain it.
Oh no, it's a graduation present for my girlfriend for obviously graduating from college.
Girlfriend.
What's a girl?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is it like that grass stuff everybody keeps fucking talking about?
Look, all I know is my grandma said I'm the most handsomest man in the world. So,
what's a grandma?
But opinion, the question that the world is still waiting for an answer to is what is the average cost of a home in
and what's the currency? And what's the currency in Canada? Is it beavers or maple leaves?
I thought that was a reference to in the House of Parliament, or in Parliament, there was someone asking one of the MPs like, "Oh, what's the average cost of a house?" And they just like would not give them a straight answer.
He wouldn't give it an answer for fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I wanted to smack the idiot. He just kept on saying numbers.
But look, I think it's going to be a really good place to live for, as climate changes. And there's not going to be too many places there's going to be a lot of places that are heavily populated and not very hospitable. And I think that you're going to see a huge premium on places in Vancouver. And especially with remote work, the value of homes are very detached from, the businesses around them because you don't have to work near where you live. Yes, Alexander?
Mesa's up by 11%. That's the play that Luce had given us a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, it's sitting at $2.22.
My question is, opinion, what do you as a Canadian feel about the United States?
Oh, I like the United States. I think the US gets an unfair amount of healthcare and military costs put on them that the rest of the world benefits from. I mean, they obviously benefit from it as well, so it's not like they're but Canada is very lucky to be geographically situated next to it and not really geographically situated near anyone else. So they're our largest trading partner by far. And if the US was to ever go to shit, Canada would immediately go to shit as well. So we're pretty much in lockstep with them.
We love you guys. And your fucking beavers and maple syrup and shit.
Yeah, I think by the time we get to Canada, bedtime stories probably around the time people want to peel off the call.
We've only lost 40.
Hey, I'm not sure if it's entirely true, but do y'all leave y'all's door open in Canada? I've heard people won't go into your house if you just leave your door unlocked.
Anywhere other than Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver, yes.
Oh, no shit.
Or Surrey.
I thought it was a myth.
I lived about an hour west of St. Louis, and I never locked my door. I even left the garage door open one night, and a police officer knocked on the door to tell me to close it.
Yeah.
Same,
Wow, that's
same thing in Ottawa as well. I left my door open and I went to office and came back. I forgot I didn't lock my door. It's even not closed properly. I didn't lose anything from my house.
Want to tell us your address then?
Yeah, 1525 Alto Vista Drive. It's an apartment. You cannot
He's like, come get my shit. You can have.
But it's a very good place to live. Ottawa, I've been here for 4 years, very beautiful, too many changes in weather, but it's shitty when it's winter, but it's beautiful when it's summer.
Yeah, we can give you our address. It's cool. Even when we're not home, our neighbors are watching. This is Canada.
I'll be honest, it's like that in small town. I'm in small town Tennessee, and it's like that. I know my neighbors are watching my house better than I am.
Well, unfortunately, here in Houston, you get robbed even on New Year's Day. I got one of my high school friends. He saw the whole thing happen right across his apartment. These people broke into his neighbor's apartment, and his camera caught the entire thing. And he called the cops, and our cops didn't do their job because apparently there was a guy hiding inside that apartment that they were looking for. And when the cops left, that guy came out and ran off. He's like, what? How?
Wow.
And they stole the neighbor's dog too, which is bullshit.
Not the guy hiding though, right?
No, not the guy hiding. They didn't find that guy, but when the cops left, the guy that was hiding came out and ran off.
With or without the dog?
No. There was a group of 3 guys. The first 2 guys had ran out the door already with the dog.
Just left their homie behind. Fucking got the dog and the TV. We're out. Good luck, John.
Right?
You guys hear me, or do I still sound like shit?
It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Oh my god.
Put your
Okay,
windows
never
up.
mind.
It sounds like you're in the middle of a hurricane.
That's real rough, man. You all right?
You in Ukraine?
Now, actually, I'm a truck driver, so I'm working right now.
Oh, hey, we probably want to hear from you also.
He might be talking through his muffler.
About what?
Truck driving. What's that
Sounds
like?
like somebody got him one of those shitty Reddit mics.
How's
He's
the
on the
transportation?
Nah,
He's on the
hey, now,
TV.
those Reddit mics sound good according to Mast. Okay.
Would you ever want a Tesla semi with that shitty fucking name?
Personally, I mean, I just drive during overnights. I'm home every night. I don't think batteries for trucks are going to be the way to go. I mean, I just reading the articles about the Ford F-150 Lightning, any articles about towing and the reduced range. I mean, there would be such a massive amount of weight and space taken up by batteries. It's not going to be cost effective.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this: diesel's clearly on the way out. What do you think will replace it if it's not electricity?
Well, I mean, just looking at the way infrastructure and stuff is now, and honestly, I think unless costs come down a whole lot, you're going to see so many people get out of driving, especially if they're owner-operators. I drive for a company myself. I'm not an owner-operator. But, I mean, just the initial investment of, having to get another truck or something like that, I think you're going to see a lot of, loss of drivers and equipment unless they seriously do something to bring the costs down.
They would need some type of battery that could be, say, attached to the underside of the trailer that you could stop at, say, a Love's or a Pilot, and there just say swap out the batteries for a different set that would take, the same amount of time it would take if you were stopping to fuel. But just the batteries on a truck, I don't see it lasting long. And then on diesel getting phased out, well, it may eventually one day. I don't see that happening anytime in the near future because of all the industrial equipment and trucks.
Here comes your gas numbers.
Natural gas seems a way better solution for trucks.
Do you think it's going to reduce your drive time?
I don't think we heard you, Jefferson.
Oh, I was saying, do you think it's going to reduce your total ability to drive? So, like the amount of time below your cap?
Well, excuse me. I mean, right now, I can put, I think, like 165 gallons of diesel in my tractor. I can get, give or take, about 1,100 miles on that. Going from electric, like I said, depending on what you're hauling, especially, you get, these guys who are doing flatbeds with, heavy equipment, and you're just going to lose so much range. I don't see large trucks becoming electric until they are able to solve the range problem. I mean, just like I said, just looking at the Ford electric pickup, a guy was towing, 3,000 or 4,000 pounds, and I mean, it cut his mileage in less than half.
The other thing would be is if you look at the places that have steep grades, I say going through the Rocky Mountains or heck, just going through spots in Tennessee, they have to have a third lane just for your semis because of how steep the grade is and how low they get down in speed. So that's going to drain that battery in no time.
Yeah, but I think we're charging some of it on the way down, though, right?
Yeah, but and you're conflating a couple of things. So 1 minute you're talking about driving cross country, and the next minute you're talking about the Ford F-150 Lightning, and it's two different animals basically. A lot of the guys that are using the Ford F-150 are using it to get back and forth to their job sites, like construction job sites and stuff like that. And for that type of stuff, electric is perfect, for the reason that a lot of the tool, like I do this myself with I do a residential construction, and a lot of the tools that we use are battery operated tools, and being able to recharge my tools when I'm on the construction site using the battery on my Ford F-150, that would be hella convenient. Like right now, up until now, what we've done is we've outfit our work trailers with solar panels, and we have a battery unit inside the trailer that gets charged by the sun, and then we power all of our equipment and all of our battery operated tools off of that main battery that gets charged by the sun. And it's fantastic because it allows us to work on a job site before the utility company has even gotten in there to put the electricity in there, which is very convenient. It allows us to work off grid. Now, for long haul drivers and people that are hauling stuff back and forth, you're absolutely correct. Batteries aren't going to do that yet. And I think for that type of stuff, what I would look at is electrification of the roads, where you can charge a vehicle as it's driving down the road and keep it charged that way, and you have an unlimited range cross country.
Yeah, that sort of, I don't know, but I think if we put all that together the right way, I think we're going to achieve serious mileage with these trucks.
Yeah.
With electricity. But I have another question for the driver. Me, I'm a developer. Artists and are worried about AI making art. I'm worried about ChatGPT. Are you, as a truck driver, worried about automation taking your role?
Absolutely not. Simply for the reason of there's always going to be a need for a human element. Even if, you have, self-driving trucks, self-driving in quotes, you're still going to need a driver, depending on, the kinds of deliveries you make, to offload the trailer and something else. I don't think you're going to see fully automated trucks. Probably, God, even if you do, it's not going to be for decades, if not 100 years from now. There's such a safety issue. I don't know about anybody else, but I drive these things for a living, and I wouldn't want 80, 100, 120,000 pound vehicles, driving without somebody there if something fails to stop the truck.
Well, even if there's nobody there, there's too big of a risk of hacking it. Like if the truck stops, like if somebody pulls in front of an automated truck, and they come to a complete stop, and the truck is halted, and you don't move the vehicle that's blocking the truck, then it gives somebody else enough time to get into the back of the truck and just steal all the stuff that's back there, right? You're going to steal all the cargo and be gone by the time the cops even arrive. It would be very easy. It would be very easy to hack a truck and like that and steal all the cargo.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example of technology that's coming from cars making its way into trucks is the automated braking and anti-collision radar. I have it in my truck, and I've actually unplugged the radar sensor from the front because it has a tendency of if it sees something, it doesn't matter if it's actually there or not. It will slam on the brakes for a second. And, I've had that happen in the wintertime, and ever since that's happened, I've unplugged it. So, even, simple systems like that get it wrong. So, looking at, complete control by itself, not a chance.
It's not reported that often, but to my knowledge, or from what little bit I've read, it happens quite a bit where there are people hacking into whatever systems that control Amazon and Walmart's trailers to where other drivers can go in and actually snag the whole daggone trailer.
I just want sensors on the trailer so these guys can quit running me off the road.
The cameras are nice on the Teslas, because if anybody tries to rob you or run you off the road, they can become a internet star overnight.
Hey, Pinion, can we have those gas numbers? I'm good with the crack. I'm done with the crackly mic.
The gas numbers, they were
Thank
just
you.
off of their consensus, which was 228. It was 221, so it was off. So everything's kind of flip-flopping right now. Like I played a Devon Energy instead. I played these 64s for Friday, just in case there's a pop, right? I'll get out at 15 cents if I can, right? But who knows? There could have been a huge pop if their numbers are way off, right? Because I always like playing one like that. because they'll jump because they're the kings down there. But yeah, they're kind of flip flopping.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you for sharing that. And I just saw something else too. Putin just called for a 36-hour ceasefire here on the 6th.
Yeah,
So that
it's
could affect gas prices like crazy if he's done, if he's running.
It's Russian Christmas. He's trying to have everybody honor Russian Christmas.
Well, he's also trying to reload. He's been trying to reload for the last 2 months.
Yeah, well, he needs to get some money in the coffers, right?
Well, I heard they sent a frigate into the Atlantic. Did you guys read about that?
Yes, they did. Their best one, supposedly. But it might go up in flames like the other one.
Yeah, Ukraine should not honor that fucking ceasefire. Their country just got destroyed, and yet we got to celebrate Russian Christmas.
Yes, I say screw him on that, just from a military point of view. Or, sorry, from my military point of view.
No, again, he's been wanting to reload and resupply for the last 2 months. So yeah, I 100% Zelensky to tell him to pound sand, but it could just have interesting, even if it's a short term.
Didn't
spike.
Zelensky just got like $45 billion US? Like, come on.
You know, I don't think that we actually hand him money, do we? I think we hand him supplies.
Arms. We give him our old arms.
But like that still helps him like a ton. Even though it's not like directly giving us money, cash.
Make no mistake, this is not a war between Ukraine and Russia. This is a war between the United States and Russia that Ukraine is fighting.
Well, it's also between the people of the world, because everybody's feeding this, because everybody's contributing something, somehow, right? And
not
a
everybody.
large percentage of that could be food.
No, not everybody.
Okay, well,
a lot of people.
Fair enough. That's fair.
That's not true. It's mostly the U.S. and the EU, and it's not everybody. That's only that's what the media wants you to believe. But there's a lot of other stuff going on.
Within reason. We'll put it that way.
The U.S. and NATO, the U.S. and NATO for a long time has wanted to see how effective their technology, military tech specifically, is against Russian military tech. The Ukraine war has served that purpose well. I'm not saying that they started it or anything, just the reason they keep sending them supplies is because they want to see, how does this new missile do against a Russian tank? Oh, it destroys it. Great. What about this missile? So this has just been a big, hey, here's a live test of how our weapons do against their armaments.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying is like Russia thinks they're doing something. Don't get me wrong, but the only thing that they really have are nukes. Everything else is defeated day one.
Yeah, but are the nukes gonna work? That's one. And then two, if you remember correctly, we overestimated the Russian economy. We overestimated the Russian economy by 70%. So I think we did the same with Iran.
Hey
guys,
question here.
Someone was talking about Kazoo a while back. Just curious what the options plays you guys follow.
One at a time.
Wouldn't Putin do the same thing?
Let's move on from the war.
I heard a question about the options on Kazoo, which I think is far more focused to what we do.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I agree.
Appreciate it. Just curious. I think someone mentioned what those options plays were. I just wanted to rehash those because I want to track them as well.
What's the Kazoo ticker?
Let's see.
DZOO.
March 18th plays. March 18th strike date. Date.
Does anybody know if journalists posted his plays?
No, it was someone else.
About
it was someone else in the chat that was playing options.
Yeah, I was going to say journalists talked about it, but he's not going to be playing March options on it. He was just saying go shares because he liked the company.
Yeah. And that's a value play for him because he owns the shares at the end of the day and he's not gambling.
So calls on Kazoo?
Yeah, correct.
I have mine out all the way for August 18th.
August 18th. What price?
$1.
Be $1 because there's nothing less, is there?
Okay, hang on. So journalists liked it as a long-term play because he felt it was undervalued and that there was a good company there. But that's like he's got shares and he has an infinite time scale and he can wait out for the market to respect that there's a good company
I would
there.
go with him.
So so the people are saying calls, if you're like, hey, March calls, you need a reason to say, I think before March something's going to happen to make the market reevaluate the company, and I don't need that extra time. So why do
Yeah, the
people feel
catalyst.
that there's a catalyst coming in?
I only have one call bid. It's all the way out in August, and it's for $1, and I only threw $5 in, or what
It's
it costs.
kind of not. It defeats the purpose almost. I would go so further out if you can. That wait till next year. Like if you can get them, see how much they are for out till next year, because there's too. It's too much of a long shot.
I think somebody said they were up like 3% or like 3 cents. Somebody said they were up.
I don't know. I'll check them out, but I'm just giving my opinion to this. It's kind of got a value play at the price it's at 17 cents, right? Because remember, you got to pay for those options contracts too, right?
Just because it's 17 cents does not make it a value play. Just you want to look at the definition. Just because it's cheap.
Yeah, that's the wrong definition.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta call that.
Yeah. I'm half asleep right now, so.
Ooh, quiet. May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So my question is with the stickers, right? For example, SPX, right? The 3 times bear ETF. Why is it that on some why is it that the tickers are different on different apps, I guess, platforms, brokers? Like on Ameritrade, for example, it's SPXS, and on WallStreetBets, I saw just references to SPX.
Are there 2 different tickers? I mean, I usually just do SPY, but are there 2 different SPX tickers?
There's SPXS and SPXL. So the long and short.
I think there's a SPX and yeah. SPXN is the ProShares S&P 500. X Financials. Then there's the SPXL is the Bull 3 times. SPXS is the short 3 times, right? Yeah, the bear 3 times. But on WallStreetBets, I only saw references to SPX.
I think when people are referring to SPX, they're referring to the actual S&P 500 and not SPY or the derivatives.
Oh, I see. But SPX is not a ticker on its own. No, there's no SPX.
Is there a product? There's different products that follow the SPX, so they have different tickers, right?
I don't know, but I saw references to SPX, and I there's no SPX sticker, at least on Ameritrade. It might be.
So what it relates to the SPX is the level of the market. And typically you could trade that as like a futures contract, but that's not what you have access to. So people talk about it like in the general, let's just call it the price. That makes sense. It's not a ticker you can go buy. So it's more easier way to track sentiment or direction of which way people think the market's going to go. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, got it.
It seems like it's etching into the market here with these gas numbers that it's felt it out, and now we're etching upwards. So it's looking good.
You can buy options in SPX.
Correct, and that's off the futures contract. But yeah, it's the options, right? off the future contract because you can't go and buy. You're not going to buy a whole basket of the S&P.
Yep, exactly.
HKD 148%.
It's like a fucking yo-yo, this shit.
We got 1 week till CPI. Think the market kind of de-risks until then, or do they kind of buy the rumor?
I was just thinking about using my profits and invest it into Mullen, buy some more shares.
I'm gonna take a stab at his Gazoo. I'm gonna try to buy some at 15 cents. This is shits and giggles. Don't need him rubbing in another one. Mind you, we did look deep into that Keon or whatever it was. The numbers just were, like your balance sheet was just shooting right in your face, smacking you in the face to buy. Because I'm pretty sure that Luce was looking right into it too.
What's the ticker for that one?
I don't know. I think it's Keon Group. It's on the one he likes to go is on. I think it's on the what's it called? The docs. But
So he tends to
DAX,
trade
the
on the
DAX,
London.
that's a German. FTSE is London. DAX is German.
yeah, the DAX. I think he was trading on the DAX with that one, but there is a American version of it. Let me just go look it up.
Yeah, the DAX is the German market. The German index.
Okay, so here we go. I believe it's this one. It's the ADR on it. Is KIG. Oh, what the fuck's going on here? Sorry about that. KIGRY. Everybody get that?
Yeah, I found it. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, it's got a nice dividend on it too.
At $8.72 at the moment.
Yeah, he picked it at like $4.90 or some fucking thing, I think.
Yeah, it in the past month it's up by 21%.
Actually, I want to say more like $6. Actually, I do remember him bringing it up.
My bad. It's up 76% in the last 3 months. So yeah, he probably picked up around $4.90. That's dope.
Yeah, I don't know quite where he picked it up, but he was talking about it after I think he picked it up. So that was on his, pump his stock, but you know what I mean. The numbers on it don't lie.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, unless you're enjoying this very beautiful elevator music, I think it's about time to call it. Any last thoughts or plays before we wrap up for the day?
I actually just wanted to ask you opinion something, since how you're on the other
Okay.
side of things here. What do you feel like the next 6 months are going to be like in the real estate market?
I don't think we're going to see anything particularly surprising. I think interest rates are very well telegraphed and slowing down. So at least in Canada, Canada follows the U.S. rates in lockstep. So there's not going to be any big surprises here. And housing prices are entirely driven by interest rates at this point. So yeah, probably more of the same. Maybe they fall a little bit further as buyers have a hard time getting mortgages as they get more and more expensive and there's fewer buyers. But as with everything, it's probably going to be very, very local. Like housing is always very local. So yeah.
Okay, that's a fair enough opinion. I just wanted to hear. I always like hearing everybody's opinion right now because I'm going to be trying to get rid of mine, even though I think I'm okay where I am.
Yeah.
Personally, I think his opinion is unpopular, but that's just me.
No.
Savages.
And as for regarded moves, I literally just took out a flex loan from my Citibank card. So, yeah, I'm about to make some regarded moves in the market right now.
I did the same thing. The interest rate is kind of worth it with the interest you pay. It's kind of low.
Yeah, it's less than 9%. I mean, just barely, but it's less than 9%, and that's pretty good.
Mass Gamer, Godspeed, sir, and may you get all the gains.
Just anecdotally, Bed Bath & Beyond hit a 52-week low. It's down like 23% right now.
Oh, shit. Let me go throw a couple of thousand. Let me go get a loan, actually, like $30,000 and throw it on it.
Why wouldn't
All
you,
right.
right? And
All
make
right.
sure it's
I
called.
think it might make a bounce back, like somebody mentioned, but it's gonna crash after that.
Sure, dead cat bounce, maybe, but that's.
I mean, doesn't a triple BY hit a new 52-week low every week?
It's called
Their
a trend.
chart, if you've ever seen the old Simpsons joke with the Enron ride, their chart is literally that joke, but actually like playing out over the year. It's glorious.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, but don't kid yourself with all these other ones too, like like that AMDT or whatever the hell it is, and all those other ones that came from that are all pumping today. Where do you think they're using? What do they think they're using all that ammo? Right?
Yeah,
I would say that they would be beating down both of the GME and that BBY.
I think this one isn't just fucking short attacks. There was very, very bearish news released literally this morning by BBBY by them themselves. This is legitimate price discovery and selling right now.
Yeah, but then people could use that ammo too. So say you got shorts on that too. All that money that you're puts, you take that ammo and then fucking pull it out. Head over to GME, short that thing some more. Do whatever that's what I figure that whole attempt is sometimes.
I don't think that there's anybody right now closing short positions. I think you hold a fucking short position if you have one on BBBY right now indefinitely because it's probably going to zero.
I agree.
Yep.
I mean, it depends on how up you are and what your risk tolerance is, right? If you're up a good chunk, you might just say, you know what, there's not a lot of meat left on this bone, and you might move on with your day.
It was just interesting. That really stuck out to me looking at the markets, and I know it's been discussed here, and I like how someone brought up kind of buyer beware on some of those plays mentioned earlier. And sorry, Opinion, I know you were done, but we can be done now, I guess. I just thought it was interesting for the group.
No, we're gonna hold Opinion hostage all day. He doesn't get it.
Buddy, I can talk all day. I'm good. I work for myself.
Listen, Opinion is
Opinion.
Canadian.
Where's he been? Where has what's his name? Adam Jones or what's his Jones?
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Where's he been? Has he been around lately?
U.S. soldiers right here.
I think he's talking about discount Alex Jones. I don't know where he is.
What
Yeah,
happened
but the
to
dude from
wait,
Louisiana
yo,
that sounded
wait,
like
wait.
Alex Jones.
Is
No,
it U.S. Soldier discount Alex Jones, but he just got a better mic, or am I crazy?
what happened to the other guy that sounded like Beetlejuice?
The dude that sounded like Alex Jones was from Louisiana and was in the oil business, if I remember correctly. I don't
And he's a
remember.
vet.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a vet.
That's the guy. That's the guy that sounded like Beetlejuice. U.S. Soldier.
That's the guy who was making all the frogs gay.
Yep, the globalist.
The truth is, the frogs were gay all along.
Best
DG I've ever had.
It's actually got some interesting opinions, I must say.
So GME is getting to a low value. Anyone gonna buy in once it goes low enough? I think there's a company there. Huh? Huh?
Load up on some calls, boys.
Isn't it at like 1627 right there? Like as soon as this thing hits like the low 15s, like this thing is cheap as fuck.
It's not cheap yet, but it's getting to a point where it's actually worth opening up the financials and going through some of their earnings calls and seeing when it would be a decent company, because it's getting low enough that that's actually mathable now.
Well, I find it very interesting that Motley Fool and some of these other guys like Barons and stuff like that are all putting it at like top of the list almost. It's like 1 and 2 for stock of the year.
Well, Rad, you can feel free to ask me anything you like. I literally am GameStop's financials and low-key probably the biggest GameStop bull in this place. I just keep my opinions to myself and let my calls expire worthless.
Hendrix, what's our
GME to the moon.
Hendrix, what price point, what share point do I need for a 20 forward PE?
No, see, that's not the kind of math that I do. Stonks only go up. I'm a GME bull. I don't think you understand what that means entirely. It only goes up.
You said you're the accounts. I need this information.
Ask him in triangle.
Okay, you want to know?
He said GME go brrrr.
You want to know the metric that I follow that keeps me invested? It's very simple. They have a buttload of fucking cash. I think it's in the range of double-digit percentage of their entire market cap. And their financials quarter over quarter have been improving. Have they made money? No, they haven't made money. They weren't making money for a very fucking long time before Cohen stepped in. They're getting to making money. I'll agree that the NFT marketplace was largely a bust, but I'm still bullish on its future. And they have $110 million earmarked for share buybacks. Those are the metrics I follow.
Hendrix, can you please get them to try to buy Steam? If their next move is to digital NFT, blah, 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 it's already there. Just have them call up Gabe and just hand him a blank check and fix this. That would actually be like a great business move for them.
Well, why
But
not a
that goes-
partnership
that goes-
with Reddit? Because their NFTs have been fucking blowing through the roof, apparently. So why not a partnership with Reddit? Get in on that.
Because Steam has
Honestly,
the
I don't
digital
even-
distribution market, and that's where GameStop should be looking if they want to be a real company.
Yeah, I'm not really even looking at partnerships. I think partnerships are largely bullshit. Like they announce them, but the depth of the partnership is what really matters. Like announcements of partnerships don't mean anything to me. There is one small acquisition that I low-key would hope that they could pull off, and they could pull it off. They do have the cash for it, and they have the infrastructure to help the company along. It would be win-win for both, and that's a Newegg. I would love to see them acquire Newegg.
Again,
Or something more to do with Dungeons and Dragons, because like I don't know how many people I know that keep asking me to start playing.
Well, that's already traded through Hasbro because they own Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, but what about when you set up your leagues and stuff like that for doing it? Like where you go and play and stuff
The
like
game
that.
itself is a subset of Wizards of the Coast, which is owned by Hasbro. So, like, if you're looking at that as a stock, then Hasbro is the company you're looking at. They own.
No,
Wizards.
I'm just talking about like the people that play it, right? And then they have it at their location, right?
Like
People
the game
can-
stores, you're saying, right?
Yeah, or whatever. They were doing that before.
Yeah, usually those stores still have tie. They're not owned by Wizards of the Coast, but they usually have like promotions and tie-ins through Wizards of the Coast.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. Cool.
GME keeps hitting new 52-week lows right now as we're talking. I'm not saying you're tanking it. I'm just saying it's
No,
not
it's entirely me. I am the shorts. And I'm gonna keep on doing it. It's all me. You can blame me. You got me, guys.
The shorts here are bullishness, and they keep increasing their positions. You know what I say to the shorts that keep increasing their positions? Come at me, bro.
I mean, I bought my youngin a brand new Switch OLED from GameStop right like 2 days before Christmas, and they were like the only people that still had them in stock. So calls on GameStop.
Hey, well, I would be going calls on coal because they must drive by here about, I don't know, Buffett must send about 4 trains loaded to like overpiled, like rumbles my house, which it usually doesn't. So it means they're heavy loads. 3 to 4 times a day. And that's
what
more than
she
average.
said, heavy loads 3 to 4. Wah, wah, wah.
I don't know, but those calls for January 20th for GME look pretty good.
I wonder how Hardy's February 2021 calls or February 21st, 2023 calls look.
red.
That is probably right time
Very.
to invest in GME.
So are mine.
Oh yeah, the good thing about Hardy's calls though is that particular position was free rolled into that position. So he's not losing any money.
But just imagine if it pays off, though.
I know, right? If the squeeze happens again and these motherfuckers don't learn from their first mistake and they shorted over 100% again, when the DRS float or when the DRS is as high as it is right now, like, ooh, fuck these shorts. We're gonna cripple the system.
This is why I keep saying this. Look how active everything's been since the 27th, right? On some of these things without even any news, no nothing, right? And you're seeing all these other ones that were big pump and dumpers that were used to attack it before, and now they're doing it again, right?
What's DRS?
What? Direct register?
DRS stands for direct registered shares.
Still waste
That are
mine. I think I
directly
got lost.
registered to your name.
Yeah, computer share.
It is supposed to, in theory, make it impossible for someone to quote unquote borrow your share and short it. Is the theory behind it, right?
Yeah, theory.
I don't mean that in a
they get ways around everything.
I don't mean theory in a derogatory manner. I'm just saying that is what's out there. I'm neither confirming nor denying if that's true.
Sure, we were all supposed to hold it and say, "Show me your shares," and show that they were all naked. Yeah. Or some of them were. Yeah.
And then Opinion borrows our shares and shorts them out through WallStreetBets, and it's a giant conspiracy, and we all know this.
The circle is complete. Good.
And Carl Icahn has the whole booklet of all of them.
We all know Opinion runs this business through the basement of a pizza bagel shop that he owns in DC that people just won't check out. It's known.
These gas shares sure are flying all over the place right now.
Yeah, nat gas dropped like 10%, but the shares are doing okay.
Yeah,
because it's again they're still making money.
Yeah, like the Devon Energy was trading at 80 and it didn't move until the numbers came out. Then it shot down to about 55, 59, and now it's at up 125. So
Hey, they just released the Gran Turismo movie trailer. I'm not sure if that means anything, but calls on AMC.
So I'll throw out a stock actually because it's finally hitting a price I've been waiting for. So ticker SM, that's Sam Michael, SM Energy. This is an oil company. They have been.
Is that Southern?
No, this is SM Energy. So they have been a real adventure. If you want to check that chart and look at like October 2020, October of 2020, they were like $1 stock, and now they're up into the 30s. This is a company that I think if they get into the mid 20s, I'll go back in. I rode them before from like low 20s to the 40s. And I think oil will continue to do well and go back to the 40s. So if you're looking for an oil company to put an eye on, wait for this to get mid 20s, and I'd say they'll be worth taking a look at.
That's a nice increase, dude, from like $1 back in October 2020.
It was stupid how that company moved.
So take a look at this one. It's a Canadian company, Athabasca Oil. I think it's ATH.TO, but there will be another one. If you look that one up, there'll be the American symbol probably on the OTC. Chinese owned, but it's out of Alberta. And you look at their numbers and their assets, it's just like, holy shit, how does nobody know about these guys? They went from I had them at 10 cents. They're like $2.60 or something right now. I got rid of them quite a while ago, but I've played them before back in 2017 into 2018. Nicely from $1 to $2. So these guys are players. They're just not that well known. It's quiet.
I wanted to quickly. Sorry, if anyone wanted to go ahead, you can wait.
I just wanted to find out if I still sound like I'm in a wind tunnel.
A little bit.
All right, now you go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to get back to GME for a minute. Whenever it goes up and people try to sell to make at least a bit of profit, what I've noticed the pattern is it gets halted. And not just like a couple of times, it has happened many times over the course of the past years, even more in the year 2020. But yeah, it's just whenever people want to take some profits, it always happens. And I've tried contacting my trading platform, and they're like, it's not us who's disabling it. Whenever the halt happens, it's at a higher level. And that's just frustrating because you hold it for, because me too, I believe that it is one of those stocks that gets manipulated a lot. And yeah, it's just for fun though, but still, like, you want to be able to at a certain point see it's good to hold it for long term for those who believe, but if we're all in it to make money, and it's one of those shares when you try to sell it, it's just at an optimal, like, no one can time the market. I understand that, but it's like, I don't know if you guys have also had this kind of issues when you've tried to sell some stocks such as GME.
I'm sorry, you're having issues selling shares?
I've only noticed that for GME and AMC. When they spike up and I want to sell it, often the markets get halted. Well, sorry, not the entire market, but that specific stock gets halted, and it's like it could be anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. And if you can't sell it, you can only buy more in certain conditions. And after the halt, as soon as it's over, like, everyone tries to dump it really fast. So that's why we see those sharp spikes, and they don't last. They just, like, they're there for maybe like 2 minutes, and then it drops really sharply again.
So those halts aren't like someone playing games. I'm not going to know the number off the top of my head. Someone else is going to have to pop in and be a little smarter than Rad. But there's like a rule that if a stock goes up X percentage in a certain amount of time, it has to be halted. That's not like someone messing around. I think that's an SEC rule, and I'm hoping Opinion or someone smarter can give like the exact numbers on that.
Okay, that would make sense. If there is a rule about it.
There's thresholds. So I think it's like it's a certain percentage within a certain period of time, or a certain percentage within a certain period of time, up or down. It's a limit up, limit down. If you want to research it,
They're
that's the
called
actual term.
if you want to research it, they're called circuit breakers. And
They're
it's
circuit breakers, but these particular circuit breakers, the ones that he's referring to that affect the high volatility stocks, are limit up, limit down circuit breakers.
sure, but it's also has Citadel. I'll use the name, controls the market as well in the pools.
But it's beyond just like
circuit-
some organization doing something. There are like hard SEC rules that like if a stock
Yes.
does a percentage jump in a certain amount of time, it just has to be halted.
Yeah, the New York Stock Exchange halts it on every transaction. It's not just Citadel and brokers that are downstream of them.
Correct.
Oh, I see. That's good to know.
I believe
And it happens to plenty of stocks. If you look for stocks that do like these sharp jumps, you'll see like they'll get halted. It'll be like, oh my god, it went up like 30% in like 2 minutes. Then it'll say this stock is halted. This is not our company doing it. This is across all brokers. I think Opinion was going to chime in with the smart stuff.
It's the clearinghouses that can change things to position close only or position open only that can restrict buying and selling, but the halts are automatic from the exchanges.
Not exactly. The liability from the clearing shifts to the exchanges if they don't follow that.
I think it's FINRA that sets the rule, not the SEC. And the percentage it has to move, I think is dependent on its price and the time of day. But I think generally it's like 5, 10, and 20%.
Yeah, but so the overall point is like it's not some company screwing around. There are some like hard rules that just is across the market for any stock.
I'm not sure if maybe some tickers are exempt from this if they're like ADRs, because I think one of the common things that people always say is like, oh, like HKD and some of the other like weird Chinese ones didn't get halted, and I think that's because they're ADRs, which makes sense because they're really trading elsewhere, I think, but I could be completely off base.
No, the ADRs are being traded in both. So it's because the original underlying shares aren't being traded on that exchange. But the ADRs are being traded on the exchange, and the ADRs are tied to the underlying that's held by the issuer.
Right.
Basically, it's not a conspiracy theory. There's automatic things that are put there to protect it. And I think at risk or pennies, I don't want to say penny stocks in general, because that's what we're talking about, but riskier stocks, they may have different rules for it too. And that's at the clearing level. So
Also, if you want to put the tinfoil hat on, there are ways that large market makers could trigger a limit up, limit down halt, because it is basically based on the time between the last execution and the NBBO, like the next bid. So if somebody wanted to do something illegal and trigger a limit up, limit down, then all they'd have to do is flood the order book and clear it, make the next bid outside the threshold, and it'll halt. It won't affect the price, it'll just trigger the halt.
Yeah, but if companies did that consistently, that would get looked into. So do keep that in mind
100%.
as well.
That's why I emphasize it is illegal, and you got to be real fucking big and have special permissions to even be able to trigger that mechanic.
I hope this all answered your question, Cash Money.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was very insightful.
I thought they were doing that just because they hated Grinder.
Oh no, we love Grinder here. This stock is all about Grinder, users and investors.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah,
Yes.
Grinder's allowed there too.
Hey, speaking of tinfoil hats, did you guys see SI today? Ticker SI, Silvergate Capital stock today.
Yeah, we got
What
somebody
do
in
you
here
got a
that
four
was up.
bagger on
We got
puts,
a
man?
guy in here with a 33,000 bagger.
I think that's
Jesus.
Alexander, right? Who said he has like 3K or 3K% on it or something.
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday, and I was like, well, just wait a day before I
You're out in the
get
back
the
of
puts.
Wendy's. I mean,
Good
come
call, slut spoiler. Woo!
Did you not go in on it, spoiler?
But please tell me you got into the play that you brought up that he made like 3K%
Oh my god.
on.
I got shit. Well, okay, so the reason why I say tinfoil hat shit is because it went up 27% yesterday for no reason at all, and I was like and I got shook out of my puts. And I got shook out of my shorts. I got too scared, and I was going to enter into puts, but I didn't, and I missed it. I can't believe it,
Bro, I trust me. I saw my puts just like being shredded. Even after I was like, you know what, whatever. I lost money on this. But when I woke up this morning, I saw that it was down, but my puts were still considered like pretty much useless at $1. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how's this even possible? And then I know where I see my chart just go bing, like.
So you know puts, options don't reflect in pre-market, right?
Yeah, I know, but I was just like, no. Well, it was after the market opened. They were still considered.
It usually takes a couple minutes for that all to happen.
Yeah, I figured. But
You gotta stop paying.
Good call out, slut.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you made money on it. I know D Gentleman also did. I think he got into some puts on that. But basically, they got their whole holdings, their crypto holdings. The news about it came out. They lost billions on that FTX crash, which was my whole theory, was that they were they had risk open to the FTX scandal. But the reason for it going up 25%, 27% yesterday, I still haven't found out why that did that, but I think it was they knew that this was coming and the news was coming, so they tried to shake people out, and they got me good. But I still think this thing is gonna probably dip even further, believe it or not, in the far future.
Do you know how many sluts you could have spoiled with that money, dude? What a missed opportunity.
So many sluts, like
yes, and I know the ones I would have spoiled as well too.
So many value meals.
Put it all into Rick's.
Looks like I'm having lobster with ramen tonight.
I'll
just go back. Whoever was talking about that SM, going up to $30, probably got lower outstanding shares than this Athabasca, but this thing's like a diamond in the rough because I can't believe their fucking numbers.
SM's a great company. I rode them to 40 and then I got out because I was like, that's probably enough. But yeah, if they want to go back to 25, I'll go for round 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
that's
it,
why
I'm
I'm saying check
that.
out this Athabasca because it's trading at $2 and that's Canadian. So you get a discount of 40% on that almost. So I just say take a boo at it. Their numbers are blow my mind. Ones that are trading at like $8 kind of numbers. You know what I mean?
So if my microphone is actually somewhat better than it was, I know every once in a while we talk about California and how wacky they are about, going towards electrification of cars, etc. I didn't know if anybody had seen what New York has decided to do. I read an article a couple weeks ago, and besides New York City already banning new natural gas connections on new construction, New York, for the entire state now, is trying to eliminate any kind of fossil fuel heating
systems and whatnot in new construction, renovations, and you won't be able to replace your systems with any kind of fossil fuel replacement when they wear out and it's time to replace them.
I think his windows are down again.
Now, maybe it's just a shitty microphone on my end. But from what I was seeing, just find it here quick. So new construction and major renovations will not be allowed to use fossil fuels effective 2025 for smaller buildings, 2027 for larger buildings, and complete banning of replacement gas or fossil fuel furnaces in homes, apartment buildings, and businesses starting in 2030. They're also following California's thing with no new gas car sales after 2035.
So this is bullish news for EVs then, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when
it
you
should
think,
be with everybody forcing gas fuel out of the market, essentially, with this.
well, it's bad enough that, okay, the whole EV thing was one thing, but now you're basically going to push, construction into electric as well. I mean, the infrastructure we have in places can't handle, just all the EVs, and now you're going to basically make electric heat pumps and things of that nature mandatory.
And it's like a tax. It's the new carbon tax.
So the question shouldn't be, is that a logical decision? Because the decision has been made. The question should then become, what sectors will be impacted either positively or negatively by this decision, right? It doesn't matter if it's smart. It matters if it's going to happen.
Well, one
We
of two
can make
things will
money off
happen.
of it.
Yeah, either, it'll, I'm sure it'll happen everywhere eventually, or they'll just, do like the federal government does. They'll just kick the can down the road for the next administration if there is one.
It sounds so radically unpractical to me, but I guess this would be bullish. I just don't see how it's not like priced in. I don't know what immediate plays you could possibly be making.
Well, it's legitimately years from now, so it's not anything they would price in currently. If it was something within the next year or so, then it'd get priced in, but it's not for a long time.
Yeah, there could be companies that aren't even created yet that are really going to win that in, a decade and a half, right?
The other thing is that, does that prevent registrations within the state? Because it doesn't prevent people driving cars into the state.
No, it's just going to be, I believe the same way that California did it. They're just banning, new gas car sales in the state.
I just want to add Delaware is also part of that list.
I work with a bunch of companies in New York. I sell to them, and a lot of them are looking at being more energy efficient on all of their projects because there's a lot of mandates around building efficiencies and stuff like that. So their companies are already preparing for it. I had a data center client who was building a containment system for their data center strictly on the fact that it would lower the or increase their energy efficiency in that particular site. And they didn't care really too much about the cost. It was more about bringing down their company's or bringing up their company's efficiency numbers or whatever metrics they're using to judge these companies on in New York. So outside of the EV space, but they're working on it now for sure.
Well, I'm also sure that, the state will have, tax incentives to get it done sooner rather than, maybe they'll just end up phasing that kind of stuff out as it gets closer to the deadline.
It's nice to see that Madrigal is coming down.
That ticker HKD or whatever is up by 250% already.
Which ticker?
HDR or H something.
HKD.
Yep.
Be very, very, very careful. Chumbawamba.
This is the company with like 7 employees.
Yeah, it's Chumbawamba.
Yeah, so this is a typical fake play. Don't.
Yeah, there's
Can't
three of them.
do
There's
it.
three of them out there. There's three of them out there. There's
It's a
that.
pump and dump like
I've never seen a pump and dump like that one. That one fucking thing went up to like $2,000-3,000 or something.
no. I think last year ran up to like $1,200, I believe.
I showed 2,000 on my sheet.
And then, so
Yeah,
this is the
that's
reason
my
why.
bad.
This is the reason why people are so wary of Chinese stocks.
Yeah, and they're all tied to this spider web of banks. I got the whole prognosis on this from last year.
Who brought that ticker? Who gave us that
I
ticker?
mean, how many times have you heard somebody
Well, it's
say,
just
"I don't
pumping."
trust the numbers out of China"? You know, like you just cannot believe any of the numbers that are coming out of there. And then they
You
do
could be
something.
you could be pretty sure that if there's anybody pumping into this one, it's somebody that's trying to use it to on their shorts, possibly with GME. But
It's
maybe not.
Kathy Griffin, goddammit.
There could be just people wanting to make money on it too, right? But it's basically a pump and dump. I don't even get the numbers. I
Money
don't even know how the
laundering.
skew moves.
Money
like it.
laundering for sure.
Yeah. And Opinion said something earlier, and I'm just gonna. We were talking about ADRs and across the ocean, if you will. If you're talking about the states, when you own Chinese stocks, you don't even have an ADR. They're usually just companies that are in the Caribbean, so it's just on their full faith and just trust us, and that you trade on that. So investing in the Chinese markets for us is very risky. Just to put that point home, you won't even get the ADR.
Even with large cap, very large cap companies?
Yes, like Alibaba and all those included, you don't own those. You do not. So the fact, it's not.
But the risk is still big, or is it less?
It's more for us. So basically, they trade in like Hong Kong and other places, but I don't want to get too much in the weeds with this. But yeah, Chinese stocks specifically for Americans, you typically do not get the ADR for it. You are not getting the paper for paper equivalent.
That makes sense. But with larger companies, is there less of that risk with the big cap Chinese companies?
Not necessarily. But what he's pointing at is that these are ones that are registered in like obscure places like Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and such.
So you could lose money even if what you're investing in doesn't. Somebody
So
can
what
scam
he's-
you.
what
Third
he's
party
saying-
in the man in the middle.
The ADR issuer, certain ones that are Chinese ADRs and such, so they have like an agreement to like receive profits and such like that for like the holding company that's issuing the ADR, but there's not typically like as much oversight to see if they're actually being done.
Okay.
Or the ownership and such is actually.
So it's not the Chinese stock. Well, as much the Chinese stock, it's the man in the middle can mess you up too. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's just an added level of risk. It's not like if you're buying something like he was talking about earlier on the London Stock Exchange or the German one. You know, if you're buying Adidas or Diageo, like they're booking you there too. You know what I mean? You have the ADR. They know you are a German. You're not in China.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
It's why it's important to know who's the holder or issuer of the underlying, well, both for ADRs.
Correct. Yep.
Are there places that are better to shop at, or they're just all risky?
there are countries that are better known for enforcing things with ADRs and institutions.
Yeah, and that goes to accounting practices. And are you actually really sharing in the profits? The point made earlier.
Didn't a while ago, didn't the SEC or one of the regulatory agencies get involved with all the Chinese pump and dump IPOs so that, like, because they were being investigated, so you couldn't buy into them anymore?
They are looking at any of the companies being able to make sure they're doing, like, one of the big four accounting firms can audit them. If you're listed here, there's some of that. But I do agree. I can't point to a specific investigation about what we're talking about where they're clearly going up like 1,000% a day. Clearly, like boiler room pump and dumps, literally, or even worse. So they have been cracking down, and I think that's kind of on the ongoing trade war that we have with them too. So it's just a very risky. I'm very risk averse to overseas, especially with China.
I was just wondering because I started looking into IPOs on Webull, and you would see Chinese IPOs get posted and filed and everything else, and then they were supposed to open, and then they would just completely disappear. And I thought, it would just keep getting pushed back and pushed back, and then it just never opened. And I kind of thought that it was the reason why is because people were getting pumped and dumped on so much that they just started to look into it a lot more.
Might just be because of COVID. I bet a lot of IPOs pumped the brakes when COVID went crazy because they knew they wouldn't be able to sustain.
My latest post is a list of 2022 stocks that IPO'd this year, comparing their IPO price with their current price. And you can see that the majority of them have just been absolutely eaten alive. It's a great way to get a lot of money for the company, but it's also a great way to make money for early investors who get shares under the table for a lower price than the IPO, and then they just immediately sell them off.
Yeah, Grinder was definitely one of those. Didn't they IPO at like 16 a share? Right now it's down to like just over $5.
10.50, I believe. Well, yeah, and I'm bullish on Grinder, so I've been waiting for someone to
undervalued.
Been waiting for someone to do a DD on it.
I was actually on here the morning that it started to shoot up, so I jumped in. I think I was up like $1,400, and then it started to crash. And because of all the halts, I think I ended up getting out 600. Still better than that.
Yeah, same. That was exciting.
Classic pump and dump.
It'll have its revenge. I was looking at it more of you can compare the market cap between Grindr and Bumble and Match. I thought that comparing it to Bumble would be a little bit more accurate, and then using that comparison because it's just an app, right? It's not like trying to compare Uber to Lyft or that's not a good example, but like comparing two other similar companies with market caps, because it's just an app, right? So it's a software based thing with servers that are running. There isn't a lot of property that goes into it. There isn't a lot of like hard material physical assets that you have to try and adjust for, right? So you can see how much Bumble's worth. You can compare that to Grindr. Then you can adjust for population of LGBTQ, and then you can try and offset that with their advertising prices, which are really high, and then you can also try and wager whether or not gay guys can outuse a hookup app more than heterosexual couples, which from everyone that I've heard who is familiar on the matter, they definitely can do. So I'm bullish on Grindr, and I'm probably going to be buying more shares somewhere around March of 2023 when I think we start hitting the bottom of the market. Pun intended.
Well, I appreciated the pun.
All right, gentlemen. I just got my brand new scrap metal permit, so make sure you send me all your addresses so I can come get those catalytic converters. I'd appreciate it.
So bullish on Taser.
Bullish on Sawzall.
Bullish on used cars because it costs more to replace your catalytic converter than your recently purchased new vehicle.
All right, and bullish on this call coming to an end. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us for 3 hours today. We'll see you all
Opinion.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Quick, someone bring up a
Have
new
a good one.
GME topic. Don't let him free. Hold him hostage. He has this.
Bye.
This is his.
Bye,
This is his limbo.
I just bought 2 grand of GME. That's a topic tonight. Thank you, guys.